Sorry about that. We're back. We are back. Good morning, you raver. How are you today?
Good morning, Steve. I just wanted to say thank you for what you do. As a social worker, just hearing someone standing in solidarity is super important, especially in a blue dot in a red state. So I just wanted to show my appreciation. And I'm enjoying hearing you speaking this morning about the Medicare for All and the Medicaid cuts. That's something that directly impacts, so many people. And, I just wanted to share, it seems like, they share that, by they, I guess, Republicans or MAGA, shares that, it's too expensive. However, it's like they're not doing the extra steps of, what would everyone having health insurance, do for everybody. It would make everything better. And I think that's the problem that I have with the other side is just the extra steps of problem solving. So I love just hearing you guys speak on here and your panelists. So thank you for providing, this opportunity and this platform.
I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you very, very much. Like, you're right. There's so much if we invested in education and healthcare, our society would look so different. So I appreciate you saying that, friend. And thank you for the work that you do. Have a good day. Be safe out there.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. She's right? It's true. It solves so many problems. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you. I thought I'd pop up here and do a quick, regularly scheduled mod announcement before I go into work.
Do it. Thank you.
Yes. Good morning. Y'all know that I'm here to remind you to please support our fabulous hostess with the mostest. He's our silver-haired, silver-tongued devil, and he's here every day with that fiery feral fist for freedom, bringing you facts over feelings, because facts still matter, and they always will. So if you have the means, let's help Facts meet his gift goal in subwaves. Subscriptions are an easy way to show support, and you get access to emotes and sub-only events like our weekly raffle giveaway. You can show support directly with the pay apps and the link tree of his bio, which is a great way to avoid the TikTok tariff. You can find the Facts HQ and Discord link there as well. You can reach the HQ via factsstillmatter.site, and you can check out all the new upcoming merch that will be posted today as well. If the link in the bio for the Discord doesn't work, try to copy and paste that into a browser or Google. That usually works. If not, reach out to a moderator and we'll hook you up. When you join Discord, please open a ticket. There's a couple quick questions. It's part of our verification process. If you have any questions about that, you can ask in the unverified lobby and we'll walk you through it. Now, if you haven't already, please click that follow or heart me up at the top of the screen next to Facts' name. You can join the team for the cost of a penny. You can do this every day, and it helps the algorithm to keep us on the FYP. The main thing that we ask of y'all is to interact in the comments, as well as tapping your little hearts out. It's always free to tap and share out the live. If you don't have any friends, just click the copy link. It works the same as a share, and no one will be the wiser. After this live stream, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to Facts Still Matter there as well. You can like and rewatch shows for any information you may have missed, and subscriptions on YouTube are free, just like following your favorite creators here on TikTok.
Yes, lastly, YouTube is up because I pushed Sam's button.
Yeah, well, and thank goodness for that, because I know she gets a little testy. My sister from another mister. We can't ever allow that.
I know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Lastly, be kind, smile at a stranger, and have a fuck your feelings kind of day.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate you. Be safe out there, okay?
I will. Whee!
I love that. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to get your opinion about something that I read yesterday because I really love your insight on things. I wanted to talk to you about BET and them
Okay.
suspending the BET Hip Hop Awards and Soul Train Awards. I think that they said they don't know when it will start. They're hoping it will. But it seems very interesting with the purchase of Paramount, which is the parent company of that is CBS,
Correct.
to Skydance
Correct.
for $8 billion and needing the approval of the Trump administration and the FCC. The agreement is supposed to close today, and before the agreement is closed, them telling them that they have to stop the BET Hip Hop Awards and Soul Train Awards for re-imaging.
I don't know anything about that specifically, but there's reporting about, so as for people who don't know, South Park has their season is off to an unbelievable start. Their viewership is up by like 200%. And just so you know, so related to what you just discussed, I found this yesterday. The CBS executive who basically got the Late Show canceled, is now in charge of South Park. George Cheeks is his name. The Skydance officially has acquired a Paramount. The shuffling of the executive deck chairs has begun. One curious decision: all the shows previously under Paramount's scripted production are moving to the new Paramount TV studios, according to Deadline, all except for one. South Park will be a part of a different portfolio headed by Paramount Global co-CEO George Cheeks, who also has the new title of Chair of TV Media. If that name rings a bell, it's because most network suits may stay anonymously in the background, but Cheeks made recent headlines as the guy who issued the pink slip for Stephen Colbert and The Late Show. So I wouldn't be surprised what you're saying. Again, literally trying to whitewash, and I use that term intentionally, media, news, entertainment, etc.
Yeah,
I would be surprised.
Yeah, so that's the connection that I also made, but I didn't want to assume that until someone like you, who's smarter than I, would say the same thing. Yeah, it seems like they have a list of things that were given to them by somebody, and that they need to check them off one by one.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can't.
Well,
we can't. Yeah, we can't be allowing controversial television satire. The Soul Train Awards, BET, can't have any of that because that's going to poison the minds of our young people, right? Yeah, we certainly don't want to have that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, well, I thought the chat should know exactly what's going on there too as well. That's eye-opening. So
sure is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate you very
so
much. Have a good day. You got it.
Bye.
See you later. All right, bye. So this story continues. Cheeks now has a lot on his plate, heading up CBS, its news and sports divisions, and a number of Paramount's old cable properties, including MTV, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and BET. Connect the dots. You got it. Cheeks is now the guy in charge of The Daily Show as well. Will a new, seemingly Trump-friendly boss bode ill for The Daily Show and South Park? Not necessarily. While Cheeks can't be thrilled with those shows thumbing their noses at the White House, there are reasons he might let the comedians do their part. Paramount, while CBS and Cheeks claim the decision to fire Colbert was financial, many allege that the move was made to curry favor with the Trump administration, which had to okay the Paramount Global's $8 billion with a B, $8 billion with a B, sale to Skydance. Surprise, surprise, barely a week after the Colbert got the axe, the sale got the green light. Now that the money has changed hands, both The Daily Show and South Park have gotten away with vicious jokes about the president. While Cheeks could credibly claim that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert was losing millions, and it was, advertisers were just not advertising on network television anymore. They just were moving their money elsewhere. He wouldn't get away with using that excuse to censor South Park. Matt Parker and Trey Stone just inked a new deal with Paramount for $1.5 billion. And if the show's creators are making that much cash, imagine what South Park must be doing for Paramount. Money talks, and a few comedies talk louder than South Park. The Daily Show, on the other hand, isn't making South Park money. Its format is less expensive than the network's late-night talk shows, but finances eventually could threaten the future of Jon Stewart and company. No one wants blood in their hands, and that includes the ultra-rich folks at the top of Skydance. this part's interesting because this kind of sits in with my theory that I've talked to you guys about. I'll get that in a second. There were multiple reasons why Cheeks fired Colbert before the Paramount sale went through, and analysts speculate that Skydance executives didn't want to begin their reign by jettisoning a beloved comedy icon. The dirty work is done, and the new team gets to ride in on white horses for now, anyway. So as I discussed with you before, the reason that I think the 25th Amendment is something that is being percolated around various spaces with people like Rupert Murdoch and Lachlan Murdoch and others is because of these people have brands that they have to protect. Okay? I'm looking at this as a corporatist and a capitalist, right? They have brands that they have to protect. They're going to want programming connected to someone who is on the Epstein list. All this kind of stuff. Every single day, there is a controversy connected to the Trump administration, whether it be blatant corruption or whatever it might be. At some point, because he's not the media draw that he is. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this was polling. He was even talking about this polling. This is polling on the major issues. Look at that. Look at that list. This was reported by CNN. This is a CNN Reuters poll. I forget where the source was, but this was the poll that he was referencing the other day. I mean, immigration, upside down in immigration. That's the last straw. Everything else. Look at these numbers though. Up 14 in the economy, foreign policy, trade, and then the Epstein case. Advertisers see this shit. They're not naive. They're not blind to it. They pay attention to this kind of stuff. Connecting their brands to this is becoming toxic. So what do we always say, guys? What do we always say? Follow the money. So here we go, right? All of a sudden that money starts to dry up where the advertiser are going to be like, I'm not going to connect to this brand anymore. That's where I think that there's a lot of push from Peter Thiel and the Silicon Valley billionaires and the industry billionaires that are around the country. They're not going to want to be connected to this. So we'll see. Sadly, some of our beloved programming will probably disappear. I don't think Jon Stewart's going to have to worry about that. I'm sure that he can make a splash. I don't know if you know this, but Joe Rogan's podcast has been #1 for a very long time, recently passed by the Midas touch. I think that's a really good sign. As we've discussed in this space many, many times, the left and liberal voices and progressive politics and progressive content creators have been drowned out by people on the right, Charlie Kirk, Elon Musk, in the social spaces, right? The Theo Vaughns of the world, Joe Rogan. And now you're starting to see that push back a little bit more. So if anybody knows anybody at the Midas Touch, I would love to talk to those guys about how we can expand our footprint here. But I think it's really, really interesting because people, and like I've told you guys this before, I worked in legacy media for 15 years, TV, radio, 25 years total in media. And people don't trust legacy media anymore. I haven't trusted it for a very long time. And I think I think we could all potentially agree on that, right? We've gone through the exercise of misinformation, propaganda, disinformation, how it, festers depending on what happens. We know Fox Entertainment's strategy is to continue to throw shit against the wall. Newsmax, they're just fucking psycho. There's just psychos over there. But even reliable sources on the left, people are just watching what CBS did and they bent the knee. I get it. Advertising dollars, ABC selling the lawsuit. I get it. I understand why I know why they did it because it's about money. We don't have to like it. So when people refer to me, and I, as humbly as I can, when somebody refers to me as an independent journalist, I'll take that. I'll wear that because that's kind of what this is about, right? We're trying to cut through some of the noise, tell you more to the story that's not being told, and then offer some connection points. And I think a lot of it is about money. Ultimately, it's going to be money that's going to bring down Trump because advertisers, corporatists, people that support him are just fucking tired of the bullshit. They got what they wanted. They got their tax cut. They got their whitewashed, palm-colored cabinet. They got that. They don't need him anymore. So they're going to kick him to the curb. All right? So we'll see. Okay, everybody keep tapping and sharing, please. Don't forget that. Quick thank you. Quick shout out to Carol. Carol starting the train for your $3, Carol, on PayPal. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate you. We are crowdfunded here, guys. You want to support the channel, you can do so. Appreciate you. Okay. I want to kind of just pivot a little bit into some of the again, a very interesting press conference. And this goes back to the Epstein situation. At that same press conference where he was, getting satisfied by Tim Cook from Apple. This was a interesting question that was asked by a reporter because there's rumors of this meeting that was being formed by JD Vance and others. The President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, the head of the executive branch, who's gone on the record saying nothing happens in this building or in our government unless I know. While he didn't know about Signalgate, he didn't know about the DOJ finding information about him in the files. He didn't know about this. He didn't know about that. He didn't know about this. He didn't know about that. So that trend continues.
Is Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question.
I don't know. Is your vice president gathering with other Republican leaders and other members of your cabinet to discuss the Epstein situation? I don't know.
I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and
now listen to this, okay? JD Vance answered the question. I want you to hear how he answers this question.
It's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation.
We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation. Then what are you meeting to talk about, JD?
And I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Oh,
look, the whole thing is a hoax.
Okay, here we go.
It's put out by the Democrats
Right, got
because
it.
we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of
Really?
our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit. Okay?
Okay. So, interesting. So, I kind of jumped in that for a second. So I was just curious about that claim that he made about whether or not you are the most successful administration. So whenever I don't use AI a lot in certain situations like this, like I'm gonna lean in on Grok. And the reason I want to use Grok is because I'm thinking if we're gonna use Grok, it's Elon Musk's baby. Maybe they're gonna provide a perspective that is unlike anything else. So I kind of asked Grok based on that question. Has the first 6 months of the current Trump administration been the most successful in U.S. history? All right, because that was the claim that he just made. Let's go back and listen to the sound again, just so we're all on the same page here. Just want to make sure we're all talking about the same thing.
Is Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation.
It's not that he didn't say that we're not meeting. He just said we're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation because JD Vance is in on the plot to remove the president, in my opinion.
And I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit. Okay?
Somebody want to explain to me something? What's the hoax exactly? We know that you're on the list. So is it the hoax that your AG, is it the hoax that your AG and your deputy AG, your former lawyer, told you that you're on the list? Is that the hoax? Is it the hoax that they told you that they were going to release the information and then all of a sudden it disappeared? Is that the hoax? So the Democrats created this? Is that the hoax? What's the hoax? Anyway, so I asked Grok this question. I said, has the first 6 months of the current Trump administration been the most successful in U.S. history? According to the White House statement marking 6 months in office, Trump touted it as, quote, the most successful first 6 months in office of any president in modern American history, citing the passage of the sweeping One Big Beautiful law now and major tax cuts. Separately, an AI analysis cited by Newsweek claimed that this period has been interestingly productive, since Roosevelt's first term since 1933. These assertions focus on volume and rapid implementation of policy, especially via executive order and major legislation. So on that topic, real quick, we're going to get into the executive order component for a second. Actually, let me just play this out for you really quickly, because this is crazy just when he opens his mouth. Okay, so this is Donald Trump speaking on executive orders, of course, blaming it on the black man with the tan suit.
Signing executive orders is not the way our country was supposed to be run. Nobody ever heard of an executive order. Then all of a sudden Obama, because he couldn't get anybody to agree with him, he starts signing them like they're butter.
You have a president that signs executive orders because he can't get anything done.
He signs on immigration and on other things. I want to not use too many executive orders, folks. The executive orders are an outrage. We have a president that can't lead. He said, the hell with it. I'm not going to do this anymore. I want to rest and I want to do other things, including going out play golf. This guy played hundreds of rounds of golf.
Barack Obama signed 276 executive orders in 8 years. Donald Trump has signed 396 to date. We'll leave that right there. Okay, so then independent analysis and expert viewpoints regarding the subjectivity of the statement made by the president that it's the biggest of the best 6 months in the United States' history. Axios highlighted aggressive and controversial actions like firing a BLS commissioner after a weak jobs report, pressuring the Fed chair, and demanding high-profile prosecutions, raising concerns about authoritarian overreach. Vanity Fair compared Trump's governing style to a political machine or mob boss, emphasizing loyalty, intimidation, and patronage, not institutional effectiveness. Analysts cautioned that while Trump's pace is fast, it may come at the expense of democratic norms and long-term stability. Economic data paints a mixed picture. While some GDP growth occurred in Q2 of 2025, overall growth in the first half of this year was modest at 1.1%. There's been a notable drop in private investment and a slowdown in job creation, casting doubt on the administration's self-characterization of an economic boom. Data analyst Harry Enton described Trump as possibly one of the most influential presidents of this century, but not always in a positive way, citing sweeping tariff changes, reduced immigration, and prolific use of executive orders. Frank Luntz noted unparalleled accomplishments, even though there's a lot to look behind, comparing FDR's era, but warned that deepening divisions and institutional erosion could undermine long-term progress. In short, while Trump's administration has rolled out an extraordinary number of executive orders, the most in history, and he's on trend to smash every single record, including his record from the first administration, and ambitious legislation early on, declaring it most successful triumphs in U.S. presidential history is highly subjective, and it depends on what metrics you prioritize. If speed and visibility of policy changes matter most, that argument may hold true. But if institutional health, economic stability, public approval, disapproval, division are metrics, the claim becomes highly questionable. So the statement, we know the statement, and this comes down to everything we've talked about before. So people on the right who support these kinds of things are certainly going to believe that it's the most successful administration in history. Depends on how you want to measure success. If you want to take the president's word for it and say we shouldn't be governing by executive order, and yet he is the person who's issued more executive orders than any president, then sure, that's effective. You lose your argument because you criticize Obama for using executive orders. So that argument fails. If you want to say that because they're moving so fast, they're dismantling these, pillars of democracy, they're ripping apart democratic norms, they're blurring the lines between the three co-equal branches of government, they're saying judges' rulings are unconstitutional, they're violating civil rights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know the drill. And if that works for you, if you're MAGA, then of course it's going to be considered the most successful administration in history. But we know the jobs report. We know that the GDP's only grown 1.1% since the beginning of the year. When we were under the Biden administration, we were averaging over 3%. So what's successful? So it's incredibly subjective, right? It's incredibly subjective. Anything you say, any person who makes that opinion, but you can't base it on metrics. There's no metric. It's emotion. The metrics would say, no, far from the most successful. Far from it. The emotions would say, especially people who are the mouth-breathing potatoes, they're going to be like, yep, sign me the fuck up. Fucking Trump, fucking great. Woohoo! I don't know what an executive order is, but he's got the most. Good luck with that. And then 69% roughly of people in our country believe that they overall, it's 69% knows that the administration is not handling the Jeffrey Epstein situation. So that is another example. How can you claim to have the most successful administration in U.S. history? How can you claim that when you're embroiled in this controversy regarding a child predator? Like, yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Babylicious. Imagine if Biden was wandering around on the White House roof. We haven't really talked about this enough, but what the fuck, dude? What the fuck talks about wanting to put missiles on the roof of the White House? I don't fucking know. Like, but what the fuck? I mean, give me a break. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
You don't
Taco
get
Cat.
it? I mean, it's a pretty important place, right?
Excuse me. Excuse me. Oftentimes when you come into somebody's house, you wait for the host to introduce you. Good morning, Taco Cat. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Excellent. So you're fine with this publicity stunt?
He's a realtor. He understands real estate. He's looking at how they're going to.
A realtor would be somebody who lists homes. He's a developer. There's a difference.
Thank you. He's a developer. So he's just looking at real estate, proportions and where they want to put this thing.
Put what thing?
The ballroom.
So you're cool with using taxpayer dollars because you really think he's going to write a check for this?
I'm sure there's donors that would do it. I mean, the amount of extra money he's getting from all of his side companies, golf courses and coins, and I'm sure
basically
the money's
corruption.
there.
So the corruption, basically.
What do you mean he owns golf courses? How's that corruption?
Do you know what the emoluments clause is, my guy?
No.
Do you know what the Hatch Act is? Do you know that the presidents are not supposed to enrich themselves while they're the president?
Sure. So which presidents never enriched themselves while they were president?
I was waiting for that pitch. So Jimmy Carter sold his peanut farm because he was concerned about the appearance. So you're totally fine with Donald Trump selling crypto, using the presidency to increase his wealth? You're fine with that? I think
the man has been the hardest hustler I've ever seen anyone
the hardest
Hold on,
hustler?
give me 10
what the
seconds.
fuck is that? What does the hardest hustler even mean? What the fuck is that?
That means that I've never seen a harder working man than that guy right there.
Harder working man.
Why do you keep repeating myself like a parrot?
Because you're dumb. That's why.
That's how we're starting with I'm dumb. Should I call you some names? You want to do some name calling?
Go ahead.
Is that where we are as old adult men, sir?
I don't care. I don't care.
No, you don't. It's your favorite party's sentence. You don't care.
I don't care about you because I don't care about
anything, sir.
No, I care about kids.
You wake up.
I care about families and freedom.
You care about kids? You like to tell little boys they're girls, give them life-altering surgeries before they hit puberty?
Hey, what did you have for breakfast today?
Oh, I knew it. You can't debate, man.
Nobody fucking cares. See, my guy, you can't be a hateful fucking bigot and expect to be platformed. And you might be able to go find that someplace else. Good luck with that. I know you're really triggered because your Lord and Savior is a kid diddler. And I know that's difficult for you to process, but you're not going to find a safe space here. So you can take your bigotry, your transphobia, your homophobia, your misogyny, your love of the patriarchy, and everything else, and go fuck yourself. Thanks. Appreciate you. Have a good day. I don't know who this is, but I'll bring him up. Good morning. How are you? What's your name?
I'm good. My name is...
How old are you?
Start taking your butt to it!
Okay. Can you just imagine being so starved for attention that you have to kind of just jump in and be like, oh, look at kid, you let kid. Okay. It's just fucking whatever. All right. So moving on. Let's see. Where do I want to go next here? So let's get back to Epstein a little bit because the story is not going to go away and we're not going to let it. Hold on. I got one more request. Try to clear the box a little bit. Superman, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
No, I just wanted to go back to that other guy that was in here.
Okay. Did you have something on your mind?
Freeze? Oh, okay.
Nope.
Sorry, it froze or something. Oh yeah, that last guy that was in here.
Yeah.
You called him a bigot.
Yeah.
But obviously you have no idea what the word bigot means.
I sure do. Yeah. Why don't you espouse your intelligence on us and tell us what a bigot is? Okay, exactly. That's what I thought. I don't know what a bigot is. Okay, let's just look up the dictionary definition. How about that? A person who is obstinately or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group. Bigot, transphobe, homophobe, douchebag. Yeah, Taco, fuck you. You can go sit in the corner. We're not going to talk to you again. You're a joke, Taco. Nobody likes you. Were you picked last for kickball? Probably. So more information. This is Julie. I'm going to play some sound to you from Julie K. Brown now. What do you win? I win, LOL. Hey, mods, friends in the chat, would you guys all show Taco some love? Because he's desperate for some attention. So why don't you guys do your thing and chew him up? I appreciate y'all. This is Julie K. Brown. She has been part of investigating Jeffrey Epstein for a very, very long time. It goes back quite a while. And interesting story that she's been talking about now. And I just found this sound. I don't know how I missed it, but she's being interviewed by Jake Tapper. You can form your own opinions on this.
Well, let me just set the record straight. I know what he said that Epstein told him when he was in prison, but Epstein told his own brother, and his brother has been public about this, that he told him that if the public knew everything that he knew about Trump, they would have to cancel the election. And that's his brother's words, not mine. So there is something there. I'm not saying it means that the president did anything illegal or he was involved with Epstein's operation at all. But, the story that he told his brother is different from the story that he told that lawyer, number one. The other point I wanted to make is, he also said there's no list. I agree that there probably isn't a list, but my understanding is that Epstein kept files, and he did keep files on people. I don't know whether the Justice Department got their hands on those files, but Epstein had some kind of records. It might not have been, and I don't believe it was, in a formal list that everybody wants to refer to. So I just think that Epstein told different people different things, and it's hard to know really, what's true and what's not true.
So I think that's been the general consensus. There's reporting about how Michael Wolff has talked about this, about how there's a safe full of photographs, compromising information. We certainly know the situation now with Ghislaine Maxwell. There's apparently reporting that she basically said to Todd Blanche that, oh yeah, I never saw Donald Trump do anything bad. Don't forget, she's got charges pending for perjury against her. So this is what we get now, and there's so much information connected to these things. The whole you stole my underage girl from me, looking at her as property. It's just one big cover up after another. That's all it is. And people like Taco Cat get off on that shit because I'm sure that you've got some interesting things in your browser too, don't you? You fucking bigot. Anyway, happy joy. Okay. I want to go back a little bit to the, let me just play this first, because this is just as a reminder as to the person who is in charge of the government. That would be the twice impeached, 4-time indicted, sexually abusing fraudster, convicted felon. If you guys can make sense of this, let me know.
Thank you, Mr. President. This has to do with the safety aspect of the Olympics. What can you do as a president to ensure that Southern California, the greater Los Angeles area, is safe from any fire danger, that the state clears away brush in state parks, the reason why this last fire happened in Pacific Palisades? What can you ensure for that?
First of all, the question is bullshit. It's not why it happened. But anyway.
Brian, we have, I've been fighting with them for a long time about allowing the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, essentially.
I generally think that he thinks that the Pacific Northwest is uphill. I really think that he thinks that Oregon and Northern California and Washington State is like uphill. just by the way he talks about it.
And we actually opened up that water pretty strongly. We got a lot of opposition from the governor, and we opened it up anyway, and the water is coming down. That we want it opened further. They have a lot of water. They send it out into the Pacific Ocean in order to protect the smelt. It's a little tiny fish that's not doing very well, especially when they don't have water. They really do badly, okay? But it's a fish, environmentally protected, even though it's in many other areas. I think they just use that as an excuse to smelt. You'll check that out. But I think it's just an excuse. They've got to allow full water, and they're working with Lee Zeldin is really helping us a lot, but they've got to allow a full complement of water to come down from the Pacific Northwest. There is so much water. If Gavin Newsom let the water come down, see the way I pronounced his name properly for a change, if this guy allowed the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, they have so much water they don't know what to do with it. All of those sprinklers would have gone on. All of those people with those beautiful houses with sprinklers in the ceilings and with the water, the fire pumps outside, all that water, they didn't have any water. You turn on the water, drip, drip, drip.
The question was about security for the Olympics. I don't know where he kind of got into that, but I want to kind of, I sort of, I asked the question again about water and whether or not it was legitimate for him to make the, first of all, to make the claims that he made. So I did a little bit of research on this, and the question, I found some information on Politico about the water release, right? PolitiFact found a story from the AP. On January 24th of this year, Trump issued an executive order directing federal agencies to maximize water deliveries in California, citing ongoing Southern California wildfires as justification. The Army Corps of Engineers began releasing water from January 30th to February 2nd, ultimately dumping about 2.2 billion gallons into Tulare Lake Basin, not Southern California. The plan was scaled down after the state water officials and farmers warned that deliveries weren't feasible and that the release posed flooding risks and wasted an agricultural resource needed for summer irrigation. The water never reached Los Angeles or the affected areas because the infrastructure to move it there was not in use and would have required significant coordination. What is it called? Tulare? Is that how it's pronounced? Thank you. Appreciate that. Tulare. There you go. Again, the water. Wait, let's go back. Let's go back to the sound. Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape, Jim. Where is it? Let me find it. I just want to make sure I can address this one step at a time because it's really important. Let's see. Hold on a second. Hold on. I like to share this because he's so fucking stupid, and I just want to remind MAGA that this is the person that he voted for. So here you go. Here it is again.
President, this has to do with the safety aspect of the Olympics. What can you do as a president to ensure that Southern California, the greater Los Angeles area, is safe from any fire danger? That the state clears away brush in state parks. The reason why this last fire happened in Pacific Palisades. What can you ensure for that?
Well, as you know, Brian, we have. I've been fighting with them for a long time about allowing the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, essentially. And we actually opened up that water pretty strongly. We got a lot of opposition from the governor, and we opened it up.
Everybody, we're getting mass reported, so I need your help. I need everybody to tap like crazy. I need people to gift. I need people to make sure you're completing your daily tasks. And please consider doing that. So if you have a tiny dime or whatever it might be, now would be a great time to use it. And don't forget, we are crowdfunded here. Thank you very much.
Anyway, and the water is coming down. That we want it opened further. They have a lot of water. They send it out into the Pacific Ocean in order to protect the smelt. It's a little tiny fish that's not doing very well, especially when they don't have water. They really do badly, okay? But it's a fish, environmentally protected, even though it's in many other areas. I think they just use that as an excuse to smelt. You'll check that out. But I think it's just an excuse. They've got to allow full water, and they're working with Lee Zeldin is really helping us a lot, but they've got to allow a full complement of water to come down from the Pacific Northwest. There is so much water. if Gavin Newsom let the water come down, see the way I pronounced his name properly for a change. If this guy allowed the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, they have so much water they don't know what to do with it.
Down the hill.
All of those sprinklers would have gone on. All of those people with those beautiful houses with sprinklers in the ceilings and with the water, the fire pumps outside, all that water, they didn't have any water.
Okay, cool. So again, basically, first of all, in other words, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just like to hear my own voice. The water never reached Los Angeles or the areas affected by wildfires because the infrastructure to move it there was not in use and would have required significant coordination. Senator Alex Padilla called the action a publicity stunt, accusing Trump of falsely claiming he turned on the water. Remember, there was that, he was like, we can turn on the water, the giant faucet, to help LA and recklessly endangering communities downstream. Experts describe the decision as ill-conceived, warning it could damage levees and amount to hydrologic insanity, especially given poorly maintained flood control infrastructure. Analysts concluded the move accomplished no benefit whatsoever for firefighting or drought relief and likely harmed California's agricultural interests. He signed the executive order again from releasing billions of gallons from Lake Kauai and Lake Success in early 2025, but it did not reach the areas that he just literally claimed that it did, and there were consequences. Considerable backlash from state officials and water experts citing risks of flooding and lost water for summer irrigation in drought areas. The water release order was issued without coordination with California officials for the Bureau of Reclamation, creating confusion and a jurisdictional dispute. California lawmakers like Padilla and Governor Newsom accused Trump of violating state water laws and acting with blatant disregard for public safety and infrastructure planning. Internal memos from the Army Corps of Engineers said that the release was ill-advised but complied under political pressure. Engineers raised concerns about flooding, wasted water, downstream damage, especially to Larry Lake, and which is vulnerable to flooding. Trump falsely claimed that he turned the water back on and ended drought restrictions, echoing past rhetoric in his first term. The release benefited no major stakeholders. In fact, it harmed farmers. So, Kauai, thank you. So, this obsession that he's had with water forever, like
drip,
like you are literally still talking about something that is just so easily disproven. And the problem is that idiots like Taco Cat, who are in here today, and other dumb, stupid ass mouth breathers, he saved California by turning on the water. What did it actually do? He turned it on because there was a big rock in the way, because all the water is uphill from California up there in Oregon, and Washington State, and turned on the water, turned on the faucet so all that water could flow downhill, and it went right to LA, even though there's no way to get it there, but it went right there, and it went to the sprinklers, and if he hadn't done that, it would have been worse. Yeah, but there's no evidence of that. In fact, he wasted water because it was basically just absorbed into the ground, and farmers in the Central Valley were complaining that they needed that water for the summer. Yeah, that's fake news. They don't grow nothing in California. He literally flooded the valley unnecessarily, but then he's going to take credit for it. But that's fine. Nothing to see here. That's totally fine. Like literally nothing to see. But it's fine. Again, you guys can complain about it all you want, but that's whatever. Anything new to report on Ghislaine Maxwell? Nothing really. I just want to make sure I've got this checklist here. Okay. So make that claim all you like, Mr. President. That's totally fine. You know, your pathetic brain dead base will just believe you. I want to address something. I meant to get this before. I want to address something, a conversation that we had yesterday, and it's been in my brain just because I think it's important. I was speaking with someone who was a Kamala Harris supporter, and I was in my particular, fiery state yesterday, was literally going after people who are Yahtzees and calling people on the right Yahtzees, and or if there's 9 people at a table and they're all Nazis and you sit down with them, then there's 10 Nazis at the table. I am not going to apologize for that at all. Now, there are maybe some people that say that may be that my criticism and or my focus on calling that bullshit out is a little bit too aggressive and it doesn't create an environment for common ground and for coalescing. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I am not interested in coalescing around Nazis. I am not interested in coalescing around people like Taco Cat, for example, because they don't give a fuck. They don't care about anything. So I don't care. All right. I don't care. Now, some people might be in a position. Listen, we don't need to have the same approach to moving our country forward. Some people might have success wanting to talk to, I think about our friend Will. Will wants to talk to rural farmers who voted for Trump. That's fine because that's his community. He knows that. He knows those folks. I'm not interested in doing that. I have no desire to connect with anybody who is still, after everything we know, supporting Donald Trump. No interest whatsoever. My focus, and I've tried to be consistent on this, and if I'm not, please call me out. My focus has been on voter activism, getting people who don't normally participate in our democratic process to participate, volunteering in our community, doing something, helping a neighbor, et cetera, and reminding leftists why the fuck they are ultimately or partly responsible for where we are now because they didn't show up and or they complained about something from Kamala Harris enough where they didn't do the right thing. So that's kind of that's my focus. So I was critical of this person because they expected me. They didn't appreciate the fact that I was being so critical, calling a person a Nazi. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. We don't have time to waste. This is not a coddling space. I don't have time to coddle. I certainly don't. You'll notice that I'll bring up anybody. I don't go through the process of filtering out people who are in the chat. People request, I'll bring them up. So I don't know what their background is until they get here. We learn really, really quickly. And then my commitment to you is to not platform them. And I'll continue to do that. There's no way to know going in. But that's sort of my approach. And then that leads me to some controversy swirling around Pete Buttigieg right now. He's sadly used some right-wing talking points when discussing the trans community. Talking about how there needs to be fairness in sport and the whole 9 yards. Very disappointing. Very disappointing to hear him say things like that because it basically gives the right ammunition. And then Gavin Newsom has come dangerously close to the same kinds of stuff. Actually, he's crossed the line in regards to the same kinds of things. And that's a problem, right? That's a problem. I'll post some sound. So there's a little bit of controversy swirling around him. And as I was discussing with our mod chat last night, I have hope that Pete can understand the harm that those kinds of things do. And I believe that one of the fundamental differences between the right and the left is that we can literally hold our elected officials accountable or expect more from them and demand more from them. Similarly, I'm not going to waste my time on trying to coalesce around Nazis. Instead, I'm going to identify someone who I have respect for politically and then hold them to a higher standard. I think that's our responsibility, to be in an active participatory democracy, a representative democracy, okay, which is what we are, that requires them to be better. And we have to demand more of them. So I'm going to be curious as to how he navigates this now that there's a little bit of controversy swirling around him. Just some comments that he said that I didn't like. Quite frankly, same thing with Gavin Newsom. So that's kind of where we sit now, right? We have to be willing to say to the elected officials that we want to support, you've got to do better. You've got to do better. There's time for that. That's the expectation, right? A fundamental difference between us and them, so to speak. We'll see, though. Everyone keep tapping and clapping, please, because tapping is clapping. Deadstroke, how are you this morning?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. First off, I kind of agree with Pete in some senses. Like as far as sports, I have a little girl. I'm teaching her how to kickbox.
What do you agree with? Like, what do you agree with?
As far as being transgender, man to woman. I mean, woman to man. No, man to woman in sports.
Why do you care? How many?
I was explaining to you why I cared.
Well, let's just level set for a second. How many trans athletes are there in the NCAA? Do you know?
No. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying I'm as a.
No,
concept.
I'm asking you a question. Do you know how many there are? If you don't know, just say I don't know.
No, I don't.
Okay, there's 500,000 athletes in the NCAA. There's 10.
No, I agree. No, that part.
So why is it an issue? So why is it an issue then?
I said as a concept. We're
not talking about concepts. We're talking about human rights.
I'm answering it for you.
No, we're not talking about concepts. We're talking about human rights.
I'm talking about
why is it an
concepts.
issue? No, it's not a concept. We're talking about individuals. We're talking about human beings. Why is it an issue?
What it was to compete in kickboxing as a grown adult and a man that was trans.
I don't fucking care. Get the fuck out of here. Leave. I'm not going to platform that bullshit. I'm not going to do it. We're talking about human beings. My God. Stop. This is what I'm talking about there's people on the left that are hung up on this bullshit too. It's fucking stupid. It is stupid. Stop. It's ridiculous. It doesn't affect you in any fucking way. It does not affect you in any way. Get over yourself. Instead, why don't you teach your son or your daughter about diversity and how people are different and how we should embrace it and how we should support individuals who are marginalized, who are under attack, and quite frankly, because of that kind of bullshit. Enough. It's a fucking joke, and I'm sick and tired of fucking listening to it. I'm done with it. My God. Hi, Shannon. How are you? Shannon?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
I played professional roller derby for 10 years. I traveled all over, specifically for Maine roller derby.
Awesome.
And I even participated in tournaments. And I've played with and against many trans women. And I'm just going to be honest. I've also played against men, co-ed. I just strive to be a better me and work harder and dominate everyone. And I just don't really understand because, I mean, I think I can do anything that a man can do, if we're being honest. I guess except sperm, right? But like, here's the thing. Like, and I'm going to sound like a misogynist. Like, I'm going to sound like I fucking hate men. But men in that highly competitive sport tend to not think out like plays, but just act, with their bodies in ways to like dominate. But I think that the thing that people don't see is that like everybody brings their strengths. And technically, from what I've seen over 10 years, women bring the strategy and men bring the bulk. But both things are needed in that kind of sport. Same as like football, but that's just my hot take.
I appreciate it. I mean, you know this. It's bigger than that, right? It's the othering that drives me absolutely crazy. People just want to exist. People just want to exist. People talk about fairness. Laws are being passed to eliminate members of the LGBTQI community, in particular the trans community. We're talking about fairness. Let's really talk about fairness. How about we just let people be fucking people? How about we just let people live their lives? Love who you want, be who you want. I mean, seriously.
I'm 110% down with that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm just like, if you want to fight on like small little niches, I'm just saying, been there, done that. Yeah. Lived through it, dominated it, and it didn't really matter. It didn't matter.
Exactly.
Didn't matter whether they were trans or not.
Exactly. I appreciate you, Shannon.
But
Thanks for being here today.
I appreciate you giving me a voice here. Thank you.
You got it. Have a good day. And here's the thing, and what really drives me crazy on this debate is people say, well, my kid, your kid wouldn't give a fuck. You're the one that does, and you're the one that brought it up. Your kids don't care. They don't. Bigotry, hatred, racism, resentment, misogyny, those things are taught. You're not born that way. Okay? Being hateful is a learned skill. Exactly. And I am so fucking tired of it, which is exactly why I am not going to sit across the table from a fucking Nazi. Which is why I have no interest. I don't care if you are, listen, this may cause me to lose subscribers. I really don't care. If you are a subscriber of mine and you sit in that space where you are concerned about fairness in sports and about the trans community, then I don't need your $2 a month. Quite frankly, I really don't care. I care about humans. I care about people's rights. I care about a person's ability to fucking exist. The fact that we even have to talk about it in terms of existing is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I'm just so tired of it. And that's why we have to hold Pete and Gavin accountable for their actions. Give them an opportunity to understand why that messaging is harmful. Because you're playing right into the right's hands, and they've already capitalized on it. You see, even Gavin Newsom and Pete Buttigieg don't think that their boys should be competing in girls' sports. It's not what Pete said. I'm just tired of it. I am so tired of othering people and minimizing people just for wanting to live their fucking lives. Why does it have to be so fueled in hatred? It just drives me crazy. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Steve, I'm so sorry to come up again, but
It's
I was listening to that. I really wanted to say just quickly, because I'm on my way in my Uber to my liberal job as a trauma ICU nurse, that people really, I'm imploring people who think this way to go read the science, because the International Olympic Committee has done multiple scientific studies using qualitative and quantitative measures showing that if a transgender athlete follows their 12 months consecutive hormone replacement and puberty blocker treatment, there is no significant advantage over their counterpart. None whatsoever, because hormones change people's bodies, and those bodies affect their performance as an athlete. So your basis is not based on science and fact; it's based on bigotry.
Exactly. And I don't want to speak on behalf of that community. I just want to speak in support of that community. So that's kind of my perspective. So I quite frankly, I don't like it when oftentimes liberal creators and or people on the left are criticized for not giving space when these topics come up. I challenge that notion, because if I'm not going to shy away from a conversation that's important to have just because I may not have representation. I'm not going to speak on behalf of a community. I'm going to speak in support of. And I think there's a fundamental difference.
I just think that people need to go look up for themselves the scientific research, because it's been done multiple times. That's all.
I agree. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you. Go enjoy your liberal job. I appreciate you very much. See you later. All right, bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Again, it bothers me that we're still in this place and people on the left are just as culpable and almost worse. Hey, Mother Hen, how are you?
Good morning, Steve, and good morning to the Factsstillmatter crew. I am doing, same shit, different toilet. That's basically all it is.
Yeah, exactly. Feels like that sometimes.
So roller derby for the W. Okay.
Seriously.
I played roller derby for a while when I was still young enough and wasn't afraid of breaking a damn hip or something. And
I worry about that when I walk down the steps now, Mother Hen, so I get you. Yeah.
Getting out of the bed, I feel like an old Buick. I have to start a few times before I can actually do it. Anyway. When I was playing roller derby, we had a trans woman on our team. Okay. And just like Jen was saying, because of the hormones and the blockers and all that other stuff, and I can say this as a woman who's postmenopausal, hormones have an effect on the body. They are, our trans women, they're actually in a greater danger of injury because of how brittle it makes our bones. The lack of testosterone, the higher estrogen levels, they're more susceptible to broken bones because they're not getting the same hormones that they were getting before. So the woman on my team actually suffered several broken bones because of this. So when people have this whole argument about men playing women's sports, first off, they're not men. That's the first thing that when they're worried about men in women's bathrooms. No predator ever never, ever worried about a sign above a door in order to be predatory. They're going to do it when and where they want to. And the ones that you really have to worry about is creepy old Bob, Uncle Bob, who you continue inviting over to Thanksgiving dinner and stuff, and you tell your kids, don't go sit on his lap. Or Pastor Joe, Pastor Joe, there's been so many rumors about him. Don't go to his confessional. Don't go into confessional with that pastor or priest. I mean, it's like the projection is beyond anything that I can even describe. But anyway, I hope you're drinking your water. I hope you're taking your meds and vitamins.
I am.
And remember, protect your peace because, hey, Steve?
Yes?
Are you zen?
I am fucking zen, Mother Hen. Thank you for asking.
Love you, hon. You have a great day.
Love you too, friend. See you later. I'm glad you brought that up. Like, and listen, we are surrounded by othering. And I'm just done with it, right? And I'm just, everything, there has to be, people are attempting to create reasons for justification for their hatred towards others. I don't give a fuck what your political ideology is. Just shut the fuck up, let people live their fucking lives, and maybe support them. It's an opportunity, like I talk about using my privilege, and people are always like, what are you talking about? Like using your privilege. This would be an example of using my privilege on a platform like this where we get 1,200 people a day and we can call this shit out. I'm not in this to make friends. I'm really not. I'm in this because shit fucking bothers me, right? And I'm tired of the pearl clutching. I'm tired of the constant quest for perfection. We have to call out bad behavior when we see it. Period. I'm sick and tired of this excuse making. Yeah, well, my daughter, did your daughter complain about this, or are you the one that's complaining about it? Kids don't care. Kids do not care. I was a youth sports coach when my kids were little. I've volunteered my entire life in communities. Kids don't care. When you listen to their parents, then their kids are like, shit, my dad is yelling at somebody. I don't even know why, but I guess I'm supposed to yell at that person because my dad is. Like, can we just fucking stop? Can people just live their fucking lives and just be free to live their lives? You know? Listen, if you don't, I mean, people want to criticize same-sex marriage. Listen, marriage is fucking hard. You know, why don't we just recognize the fact that the institution itself is difficult and challenging instead of criticizing people? There's a video circulating now of Alan Dershowitz. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but he was he was denied service of a pierogi, making anti-Zionist statements, et cetera, et cetera. And this person denied service and I don't support you because of who you are and the fact that you're connected to this. And he tried to turn it into this anti-Semitic kind of person. This person's like, no, I'm just not going to support you. And yeah, all of a sudden, the right's going to jump all over that. Meanwhile, your fucking party believes that people can deny access from bakeries because you might be a gay couple. So miss me with your fucking nonsense. I'm fucking tired of it. You don't like it? Just leave. I really don't care. I no longer am going to give space for that shit. I'll do my best to try to navigate through it, but I'm tired of it. I really am. Good morning, Lynn. How are you today? Lynn, are you there? Lynn? I guess not. Okay, our last guest left. I mean, you know what I mean, friends? Like, it's just, I don't understand. No, I do understand, right? We know it's always been there, but the last 10 years, 12 years of Trumpism has driven us to this point where we just use people as we turn people into targets. And everything is a target. It's not just the trans community. It's not just members of LGBTQIA. It's not just BIPOC community. It's not just the disabled community. It's not just women. It's everybody. If you are associated with something, think of it this way. People on the left are criticized because we want to promote and support human rights. And we're called radical. And we're called Marxist. And we're called communists. And people on the right are supporting rapists, P3DOs, criminals, traffickers, etc. And yet they feel like they can stand on their moral fucking high ground fueled by their faith and criticize people because we believe in the expansion of human rights? Make that make sense, please. Make that make sense, because it makes no sense to me at all. Livia, how are you today?
I am full of rage. Thank you for asking. I'm not American, but I am a trans athlete. And I just wanted to point out a couple things that are really gross when trying to participate in sports.
Did you say that you weren't from the U.S.? I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that. Did you say you weren't from
Canada.
the U.S.? Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I just wasn't sure.
No, all good. Sorry about that. So,
that's okay.
I can compete in 2 different martial arts, and I have to go through so much like red tape and like submit medical documentation. They want to know if I've had bottom surgery. Like, it's really invasive, like just for me to say like I'm trans and this is the right division for me. And you know, they always claim to care about kids, right? And then I think about like a kid having to go through that, and only because they are trans. It's disgusting. And then the last thought that I had was like, again, them thinking about kids, right? Like, it's so good for kids to compete in sports. Like the team should, I'm sorry, I get worked up about this. Just the sense of like, you know, teamwork and discipline and leadership. Like, it's so good for them, and they want to make it so hard. Fuck all of it. All of it.
I agree. I think I think it was either, and I may be wrong about this. I don't mean to misspeak on it, but I think it was Utah or Idaho that literally tried to introduce language that required, you know, you need to show me what's in your pants before I can allow you to compete in the sport. I may be wrong about that, but I know that there was conversations about it. Like, you know, the same party that is loaded with predators, and they literally want children to have to show what's in their pants.
That's and cis kids too.
Exactly. Right. So in the same party, at least in our country, the same party that wants to complain about protecting or wants to say that we're here to protect kids, vote to take away SNAP benefits, which in our country feeds children.
Yeah, it's never been about the kids.
It's never been about the kids. Absolutely right.
I love you. I watch you every morning, and I'll make space now. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, Libya. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you. Right. It's like it's the weirdest flex. It's the fucking religious zealots and these fake Christians on the right who claim to care about children. You don't give a fuck. You care about control and power. You don't care. You just don't care. You hate people so much that you will literally stand in the mirror and cite your hypocrisy to yourself. I care about kids because I want to make sure no trans people are in women's sports. And I'm going to vote and support and cheer for SNAP benefits being taken away. Miss me with your hypocrisy. Seriously. Miss me with it. Anne-Marie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
So I just also wanted to come up on that same topic with trans children in sports. Is it's only women's sports or girls' sports. They don't care about boys' sports. You never hear anything about that. It is only ever girls' sports. It's the same thing with bathrooms. It's only women's bathrooms. They don't, because, you know, they don't care because they don't think that a girl who transitions to a boy is going to be able to compete with boys anyways. And also, once again, being a girl is a bad thing. So they can't understand why a boy or a man would want to transition to a woman, because that's weak. So they just,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's interesting that you said that. It's another way to diminish and or minimize women, right? It's all part of the misogyny and the patriarchy. It's a really good point. Yeah, it's a really good point.
Okay. Yep. And also, I don't know if you ever saw my Discord message about increasing your, because I'm the digital media specialist.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I did. My bad for not getting back to you. I will. Yes. I owe you that response. I'm sorry about that. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right. Talk to you later. You too. Bye-bye. It's a really good point, right? you never hear the complaint the other way. Again, we can do an entire live on this. I am so tired of just othering. I'm so done with it. I've talked about this, and we mentioned this the other day, that Nancy Mace is going to be running for governor in South Carolina, and there's conversations about her running again. Well, and then Lindsey Graham potentially doing the same thing. So those two fighting for the nomination. I mean, Nancy Mace has built her entire political career and her brand on bigotry, going after the trans community. Are there enough voters in South Carolina? She's used the T slur on the floor of the House of Representatives. She has bragged about it. She has literally yelled it from the rooftops, the T slur. Are there enough voters in South Carolina that would vote for that? You know what? We all make mistakes. Okay. That's fine. All right. Everybody, don't forget to please consider contributing to the gifting goal today. We're a little slow on the likes, guys. If you wouldn't mind, help us out there. Don't forget about subscribing. We've already given away one item this morning from the merch store. And then as we get closer to the end of the day tomorrow, if we can hit our new sub goal, then we'll do another giveaway. And don't forget, we are crowdfunded here. If you do appreciate what we do every single day, and a lot of you say you do, and I really, really appreciate that. We are on the dollar train. I actually want to thank a couple of people right now who've participated. To Julianne. Julianne, thank you so very, very much. I appreciate you for your $3. Hang in there. What you do is not easy. I appreciate you saying that. Julie, thank you so much. Julie, you're here a lot. I really appreciate you. $5 challenge thrown down by Julie to all viewers. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, guys. Okay, so speaking of predatory behavior, there is still churning and burning within the administration as to how they can navigate through this. I think from a political strategy perspective, they have nowhere to go with this story because of the numerous lies that they have told. So just this sound from the president is just wild to me, and I think it's like the whole ball game. So I'll just play this for you. Hang on one second.
And I didn't talk to him about it, but I will tell you that whatever he asked would be totally appropriate, and it's not an uncommon thing to do that. And I think he probably wants to make sure that, people that should not be involved or aren't involved are not hurt by something that would be very, very unfortunate, very unfair to a lot of people. But I will say this, Todd Blanche is one of the most highly respected people you'll ever meet. So I know this. I didn't discuss it with him, but anything he talked about with her, or the fact that he did that, not unusual, number one, and most importantly is something that would be totally above board.
First of all, to say it's not unusual is complete bullshit. It's extremely unusual, first of all, for the number two person with the deputy attorney general to go. It's one thing to have the deputy attorney general go speak to a convicted felon. It's another to have that deputy attorney general be the president's former personal lawyer. That, to me, that sound is the confession, right? Whatever Todd Blanche had asked Ghislaine Maxwell would be totally appropriate and is not an uncommon thing to do. And I think he probably wants to make sure that people that should not be involved or aren't involved are not hurt by something that would be very, very unfortunate and very unfair. To me, that's the confession, right? Listen, I'm connected to this kind of thing. The DOJ has already called it out. Your name's on the list. Your name's all over it. We've got all kinds of people coming out and saying, dude, you're all over this shit. What are you going to do? It's literally, and every time he opens his mouth, the stuff that they have on me is fake. They could have put stuff in there. That's all. Those are all confessions, right? Those are all confessions. We know that there's reporting now, according to ABC, that Ghislaine Maxwell in her testimony said that I didn't see Donald Trump do anything. At the same time, that same person has a pending perjury charges against her for lying about her involvement, saying that she wasn't involved in all the things that she did. Actually, do I have that? I just want to go through that list. Yeah, let's do I have that? I think I do. Give me 1 second here. Everybody keep tapping, please. Don't forget about our gifting goal. If you guys wouldn't mind helping us out there, try to get there. Also, subscribers, appreciate you guys. Okay. She was cited for surgery. It was indicted in 2020, including perjury charges related to 2 sworn depositions from 2016 during a civil defamation case involving Virginia Dufresne. The perjury counts were severed from her trafficking trial and were meant to be tried separately. After Maxwell was convicted in late 2021 on trafficking charges, prosecutors dropped initial charges. Then prosecutors emphasized that her perjury counts were based on alleged lies in 2016 and illustrated her willingness to brazenly lie under oath. So we're talking about we're talking about a predator, not a victim, who's already lied about her involvement, lied about whether or not she knew that Jeffrey Epstein was abusing young girls, lied about her actual abuse of young girls, lied about all of it. And now ABC reports that she said, I didn't see Donald Trump do anything inappropriate. At the same time, she gets moved to a minimum security facility, Club Fed, and is already given a pardon. Make it make sense, right? Make that make sense. But that's fine. But that's totally fine because you guys care about the kids. That's totally fine. But you're concerned about boys and girls sports. That's fine. You're totally fine. You care about kids, but you support a party that cuts funding for SNAP. That's fine. You're going to believe her. If we could just fucking believe victims, survivors, we wouldn't be in this position. And I am going to challenge the mouth-breathing, red hat-wearing Trump sycophants to look themselves in the mirror and say, okay, because I stroke the micro P of the president, I'm now faced with a choice. I don't believe women, but I've got this one woman who's a victim, Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm going to believe her because she said that he didn't do these things. But then there's dozens of other women who've said the contrary. I'm not going to believe them, though. Good luck with that. That's why I say this whole thing is about the court of public opinion, right? And the court of public opinion is certainly not on his side as reflected in polling, not just from Democrats, but from everyone. Independents are abandoning him at record levels. Okay. There's this. I forgot about this sound. This is wild. You guys might get a little laugh out of this one. Here you go.
In church and when I drink my little wine, which is about the only wine I drink, and have my little cracker, I guess that's a form of asking for forgiveness. And I do that as often as possible because I feel cleansed.
What? You don't go to church, dude. Okay, though. You keep telling yourself that. I just want to bring people's attention back to that famous interview that he did yesterday in the Oval about the whole hoax argument. I just think it's important that we remind ourselves of this because I do have some more reporting on J.D. Vance's meeting that we'll get into in just a moment.
Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation. And
by the way, the visual here is very interesting because Tim Cook, Apple chairman, standing between Donald Trump and J.D. Vance as they're discussing the Epstein files. And Donald Trump's name is in it. And Tim Apple is sitting there simping and giving him 24 karat gold bullshit. So anyway, you get my point.
It needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit. Okay? Samsung.
Angelique, you just accused me of being a liar. I just sent you an invitation. I highly doubt you'll accept because you would never say something like that publicly unless you had the proof, and you just want to troll in the chat. So I know you won't. I just sent you a request to join. I know you won't because you can't back up your claim. But just thanks for playing. I appreciate the engagement in the live. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay, so there's
a reporter who reported it.
Let's play that one already. I want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about the disastrous situation coming out of Florida, specifically as it relates to the alligator Alcatraz. Before I do that, there's some interesting sound and an interesting study that's been done recently on how ICE responds to situations in red states compared to blue states. So I'm going to play this for you. I'll take a quick break. I'm just going to play this for you. It's kind of fascinating. I didn't really think of it in terms like this, but it's really, really interesting to see how there's a clear divide based on the strategy in which ICE, the illegal law enforcement that is ICE. Here you go.
There's a stark split in how ICE is arresting immigrants in red states versus blue states. CNN analyzed data from ICE and found 9% of arrests in red states happen in the community, including on the street or in workplace raids, like the ones in Los Angeles earlier this summer that sparked protests. Advocates for immigrant rights say these kinds of arrests are aimed at punishing and instilling fear in blue states and cities. But Trump officials say it's a result of sanctuary policies. In many left-leaning states, local authorities can't hold immigrants in custody based on ICE orders alone. So they're often released before immigration officials can arrest them.
If sanctuary cities would change their policies and turn these violent criminal aliens over to us into our custody, instead of releasing them into the public, we would not have to go out to the communities and do this.
We're going after the worst of them.
Aliens over to us.
Arrested in the community aren't exactly the worst of the worst, as the Trump administration has said. Less than a third of those arrested in the community around the country had a prior criminal record.
Interesting, right? So a clear, obviously, connecting rhetoric to their law enforcement. I'm not surprised. I guess I can say I'm not surprised. I was a little bit surprised by hearing that. I do think it's something that we should be mindful of and watching. And then that leads. Hold on. Hi, buddy. And then that leads to some interesting new people involved in the ICE campaign. A name that you may remember from days gone by, Dean Cain, former Superman. Which is just a weird thing for Dean Cain to want to double down, although he's got some very questionable, statements that he's made in the past. Where do I have that sound someplace? Where is it? Do I have it? I think I do. Maybe I don't. Stand by. Here we go. So Dean Cain joining Jesse Waters, and here you go.
Man himself, Dean Cain, joins me now. All right, so this is kind of a big deal for you and your career. What are you going to be doing at ICE?
And I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP. So they'll have 80,001 recruits for their 10,000 positions.
Well, they can't have a better guy than Dean Cain. Are you going to be hopping out of ICE vans and apprehending guys?
I will do whatever Director Lyons wants me to do. If that's what it takes, absolutely. I somehow doubt I'll be in that position, but I would be there in a heartbeat. These brave men and women need someone to stand up for them.
Brave? You mean cowards? You mean people who are so fucking coward and so weak that they have to wear masks? Dean Cain, former Superman, 1993 series Lois and Clark. Dean Cain, that guy. Now, an ICE agent, I'm going to sign up as soon as possible. And as a reminder, friends, there are signing bonuses available for people who want to join ICE. It doesn't talk about qualifications. It just talks about signing bonuses. $50,000 and forgiveness of student loans. Funny how that works. MAGA, chuckle fucks, mouth breathers, Taco Cat, if you're in here. Do you support that? Do you support ICE agents getting their student loans forgiven? But did you go to college or you didn't and you don't want to pay for people to have their student loans reimbursed? Probably, right? Yeah, of course you do. The hypocrisy is the point, isn't it, friends? Okay, so there's a story out of Florida that is really, really disturbing. This is from a person in the know. This woman was a former a corrections officer in Florida, and she's reporting on former Alligator Alcatraz worker describes inhumane conditions inside. This relates to the fact that we are now we're recruiting people to be part of the police state. We're literally we're recruiting people, offering them, bribing them. Here, you know what? I know, listen, between you and me, I appreciate your application. I know that you hate brown people. Well, this is your opportunity to drag them across a parking lot and throw them in a fucking cell. So I know you get off on that. I know you fantasize about that shit. So let's just make it official. Here's your $50,000 signing bonus, and we'll also pay off your student loans. Oh, you didn't graduate middle school? Yeah, don't worry about it. No problem. Don't need them. You don't need that. So this is the story. Let me just play the sound first. This is wild.
The so-called Alligator Alcatraz opened, we've been hearing similar complaints.
Conditions that they're going through, they're horrible.
This place is a cage.
From detainees, their families, and Democratic leaders.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
Tonight, only on 6, you'll hear from a woman who says she worked inside the facility.
NBC6 politics reporter Hansel Vella has been covering the detention center since it opened and now brings us this exclusive report.
This woman says she arrived at the facility on July 6 and spent a week working inside before she got sick and then had to isolate.
I thought it would get better, but it never did.
This is Lindsay. This is how she describes what she saw when she spent a week working at the controversial Alligator Alcatraz.
It's inhumane the way that they're keeping their residents.
We're using her first name because she worries about her family's privacy and online harassment.
When I got there, it was overwhelming.
She shared her state of Florida credential, which lists her position as a corrections officer.
They said it was going to be 5 days on, 2 days off.
She also provided us with a copy of her contract with Garda World Federal Services, a security company reported as one of the vendors at Alligator Alcatraz. A job posting on the company's LinkedIn account shows that we're hiring for the position a month ago, offering $26 an hour.
I was aware that it was going to be the Alligator Alcatraz.
While Lindsay knew she was going to be living in a shared trailer, she says the conditions were rough for everyone there.
We had to use the porta-johns. We didn't have hot water half the time. Our bathrooms were backed up.
And that is for the people who are working there. Okay?
NBC6 has reported similar accounts from advocates, detainees, and their families.
It looked like an oversized dog kennel.
She says each tent had 8 large cages.
Each pod holds 35 to 38 inmates. They have bunk beds in them.
Do the math, and that means each tent holds close to 300 detainees.
They have no sunlight. There's no clock in there. They don't even know what time of the day it is. They shower every other day or every 4 days. The bathrooms are backed up because you got so many people using them.
On rainy days, she says, the water pours into the tents. She described the conditions as miserable. Not to forget the constant battle with mosquitoes.
Not everybody there is a criminal.
NBC6 News has asked the state for a list of detainees at Alligator Alcatraz, but has not received it. Last month, a Human Rights Watch report found nearly 72% of people detained had no criminal history.
These people are still human. You've pulled them from their livelihood. They're scared. They don't speak our language.
Lindsay says she was fired from the facility after she caught COVID. and was accused of altering medical paperwork submitted to the company. She denies the allegations and says she's coming forward because of what she saw.
And yeah, I was fired. And yeah, I'm pissed off. But more so than ever, like, they're doing wrong.
Lindsay says she has not been paid for the work at the facility. The company did not answer our questions about all of this, instead referred us to state authorities. We contacted the Florida Division of Emergency Management Monday morning, and we're waiting to hear back. They have previously denied allegations of poor conditions at the facility, and despite multiple requests, we have not been given access to the area where the detainees are being held.
Let's be clear about something. This person is no fucking hero because she knew what she was doing. She knew that she was signing up for. She knew she was going to work there. Let's be very, very clear that she is not a hero, okay? But it's just more proof of the situation there. And I was just watching as the story was playing, I was just watching some of the comments go by, and it just proves my point that MAGA is a fucking cancer, right? Actually, I think it's time to change the background because it's necessary based on some of the comments that I just saw. That people really just think that, we should just throw people. 72% reported, and that number's been confirmed, not only by human rights councils, by immigration attorneys, people who are representing some of the people in there with no criminal record whatsoever, and they're there. Why? I thought we're only supposed to be locking up hardened criminals. Then why, from the report that we just listened to, the sound that we listened to from about red states and blue states, why are they going to farms? Why are they locking up innocent people? If the plan was to go after criminals, then why aren't you just going after criminals? Why is that? This is the othering. This factors into exactly what we were just discussing earlier about how we're trying to create these scenarios where everybody who does not fit the mold, you know what I'm talking about, we just go after. That's white Christian nationalism. That's what it is. So we're just going to tolerate this. And I literally saw a comment go, you guys would rather they be put in a 5-star hotel? Right, Kipper. Hold on. No, we would rather people would just be treated with respect and dignity. And if they violated the law, then give them due process. Right? If they violated the law, give them due process. Remember this famous, we played it yesterday. See if I can find it. We piled on to, we dog walked this individual for his ridiculous comments about due process. And I think it's appropriate to play it now, because it still tracks with everything that we're discussing here. These are innocent people. These are people who, in many cases, 72%, even those that the only crime that they committed was a civil infraction, crossing the border. That's all it is. It's like a parking ticket. It's like a speeding ticket. It's complete fucking nonsense that we've created this, that people are advocating for this, advocating for torture, advocating for inhumane treatments. Why? Because they have brown skin. That's the only other reason we can justify it. Because you don't care about law and order. You don't care about protecting the rights of people under the conditions of our Constitution. You don't care about prioritizing the rule of law. You just don't like brown people. That's what it is. There's no other way around it. I'm not gonna let you sneak out and say, well, no, we just want to go after criminals. You voted for a criminal. You don't care about that. You never have, you never will. You're not in a position to try to defend your argument because it fails at every fucking turn. Where is that sound from that guy? I need to find it. Do I not have it anymore? The lieutenant governor from Micah Beckwith, the lieutenant governor from the state of Indiana, I believe. And yeah, it was Gunny who came up yesterday and we talked about it. He basically said, where is it? Do I have the sound? You don't get due process. You've heard it. Do I need to play it for you? Yeah, I do. Here you go.
If you'd like to ask a question, you can get in line and then I can answer your question.
But are you going to make sure all the people coming to Camp Atterbury have had due process?
So due process is, in this situation, is, are you here legally?
That isn't
That is due process. Yes, it is.
So it says he's getting arrested?
Let's just track that for a second. In his claim, if you're here illegally, when you're asked a question whether or not you're here legally or not, that's not due process. How would you, first of all, know if a person is here legally or not? You would have to question them. You would have to give them their day in court, okay?
And charged with a crime and seeing a judge, and these people are not seeing a judge. That's not true.
They don't have a right to see a judge.
There it is, MAGA Republican Micah Beckwith, Lieutenant Governor for the state of Indiana. Micah Beckwith. No due process. No due process is court. No due process is court. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, so that's good. So that's the entire Republican theory on why it's important to have concentration camps set up in Florida. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good morning. How are we?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know. The last 2 lives I saw you, and now I know why your soul is in trouble, guy. Dude.
I know, right? My soul is in deep doo-doo. I know, you're right, bro.
Hey, listen, a quick fun fact about Dean Cain there. He took Brooke Shields' virginity, so just, he does have that going for him.
He did?
Yeah, in college at Yale. Yep.
Don't know. Okay.
See? I'm just all information for you. But,
you are.
One of the funny things about, when you're talking about the trans, first of all, the entire trans population.
Trans people.
Trans people. The entire trans people population in this country is 0.06%. So
I think it's even lower. I think it's even lower than that.
Yeah, well, when you said the athletes in NCAA, I don't think it's 10. I think it's like 8. So I think it's actually even under 10. So, but one of the big arguments to make is they don't want men in women's locker rooms, right? That's the big argument. Yet the fearless leader openly brags about going backstage to women's dressing rooms.
Exactly.
And they don't seem to care about that at all.
Exactly.
But they for some reason they're fine with that. Oh yeah, because he's a manly, he's macho. It's ridiculous.
Yep, that's part of the whole behavior. We have to be careful, Chris, with some of the words that you're using there regarding the locker room talk stuff. So just be mindful of that, okay?
I understand.
So just again, I know you're going through this evolution. We're all working on our language, but something you might want to check too. So just be careful with that.
No, I understand.
Okay?
I try
okay.
though, and it's sometimes you're in the moment, you forget.
Yeah, I know. Well, we can't forget. We got to do better, bro. Okay.
No, I know we do. I mean, I don't do it. I don't do it intentionally. It's just
I understand, but that's why I'm here to check you.
Oh, all right. For the things that you left behind, because I'm here to remind. No, that's Alanis Morissette. We won't do that. I know you didn't get into it, but recently they were going on. They're going over about the redistricting. First of all, thank you, guys. By the way, thank Massachusetts. We're the one who came up with gerrymandering. So,
yeah, that's a good point.
We actually did. And also, so Trump was going on, well, look at Massachusetts. There's no Republican districts. The Globe had a whole article yesterday. We can't have a Republican district because the way it's set up that you have to have so many people in the district and so we don't have enough Republicans in one area that you could make a district that would lean Republican. It just can't work. You look at it every which way, it just doesn't work because we don't have enough. There's not enough Republicans in enough communities surrounding each other to make a district.
Yeah,
we can't do it in Massachusetts. It's not possible.
There's just not enough. I agree. There's certain states it requires the triumvirate. You have to have the governorship in both houses of legislature. So but it's going to happen either way.
It's not even about the legislature won't do it. It's about the fact we don't have enough Republicans in enough districts that you could put together an entire district that would favor Republicans.
Right.
We don't have that. And our last redistricting was signed off by our Republican governor.
That's right. Mitt Romney, right?
No,
Charlie Baker, right, exactly. Yeah.
We love Charlie.
Yeah. We have a Republican governor in Vermont, and he's one of the first Republicans that came out against Donald Trump in the first administration. He's also been the one that signed women's rights to their body into law. So, there are some out there that are not MAGA.
No,
for sure.
That's the problem with any Republicans from the Northeast can't run for president because for them to actually be in the Northeast, they can't be far right because it won't work. You have to be a moderate Republican in the Northeast to win anything, pretty much, outside of probably New Hampshire because they're weird.
Yeah, who cares about New Hampshire?
Yes, we're all embarrassed about New Hampshire. But
we are.
Because you're so far, you have to go so far right at a national level, it doesn't work. I mean, perfect example is Romney. Romney tried to pivot so far right after when he started running for president, you know, because he couldn't be that far right when he was the governor. He would have never been elected.
It's true.
You know?
It's true. Yeah, I mean, don't forget, our model, the ACA model, is based on what they had in Massachusetts under Governor Romney. So we know Obamacare is basically modeled after Romneycare. Yeah,
it is. It exactly is. Exactly. So,
thanks for jumping in today, buddy. I appreciate you.
All right, no problem.
Talk to you later. All right,
peace out. Bye.
Peace out, kid. Just got to make sure we're checking ourselves, right? Make sure we're being mindful of our language, because language can be harmful, and our responsibility for each other is to constantly press to try to do better. So since you brought up redistricting, I think we can kind of move into that conversation now. Everybody, please keep liking and sharing the live. Don't forget about our sub goal today, guys. Let me just send out some thank you first. Ruby D, thank you, Ruby. Just because, thank you for all you do. Thank you, Ruby, for saying that. Patricia Bobo, thank you for your go get the fascists. Thank you for that. Bobo, I appreciate you very, very much. That's very kind. Also, let me hang on one second here. Meredith, thank you so very, very much, Meredith. $5, the $5 train Monday through Friday. Thank you so much. Heather again. Haley, thank you so much. Julianne and Jolie, thank you guys. Appreciate you. So 48, I gotta do math. Sorry, gotta do math real quick. Let me just do this real quick. 148. There we go. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Okay. So we know that there's been a lot of buzz about John Cornyn, one of the senior senator from Texas, wants to use federal law enforcement to go after Democrats because they left the state of Texas. They literally, to me, I'm looking at this from a political perspective, not just from the rhetorical perspective, but it's fun to watch because they don't have a leg to stand on. They're going to use this rhetoric. They're going to use their safe spaces. They're going to tell people that Democrats are violating the law. No, they're not. Last time I checked, there is still freedom of movement. Last time I checked, they have a right to go wherever the fuck they want to. So this is Greg Abbott. He's being interviewed by some fucking idiot on some right-wing podcast. But well, here you go.
Some reports, Governor, allege that there are Democrat lawmakers hiding out in our state, in Texas. If that's true, how confident are you that Texas DPS and the Office of Attorney General's, their Special Crimes Unit, can find these Democrats and drag them kicking and screaming?
Find these Democrats, not find these residents and or citizens of Texas who are there to serve the public. Find these Democrats. Okay.
To do their jobs to the Texas House.
So our information does include information that there are Democrats in the state of Texas right now. And as we're speaking,
there are lots of Democrats in the state of Texas. Lots of them. Lots of people, nearly 5 million of them, in fact, well, not all Democrats, a lot of independents, and probably some Republicans too, voted for Kamala Harris. So we're now just going to go round up every Democrat? That's what they'd like to do now, isn't it?
On television right now, the Texas Department of Public Safety is seeking and will find them, and they will arrest them and bring them to the Texas Capitol. The same goes for Democrats who are outside the state. I talked to the Department of Public Safety, and they are working on strategies to locate and bring back members of the Democrat House who are outside the state. And if they don't get to bring them back, they will be met by the Department of Public Safety when they do return.
What?
There's no way for these Democrats to be able to escape justice here. The Democrats, when they return, they're going to be accountable for certain legal violations, but also for violations of Texas House rules. And so it's going to be a bad day for them. And the sooner they get back, maybe the lesser the consequences. But the longer they stay, the greater the consequences.
First of all, breaking quorum is one of the House rules that is in their Constitution. It's in the rule. It's in the bylaws of their legislature. So they are actually abiding by the rules. This $500 a day fine, there's no legal enforcement, right? There is no criminal charges here. If anything, if at all, they would be civil, but there's no method to enforce it. So all Greg Abbott is doing is exposing how he is willing to bob the knob of the president and do whatever the other Christian nationalists in government, because he's one too, want to support. I'm proud of the representatives of Texas for doing what they're doing. I think it's great. I think it's the courage that you see. Now there's other reporting that this special session, there are rules for how long a special session can remain open. And I think the clock ticks next Friday. I think there's talk now about once they return, the governor would just order in another special session. Let them. Ultimately, what's going to end up happening is the Democrats will end up going back, right? They'll end up, because a lot of these people have jobs, so they don't make a lot of money in the state legislature. Somebody who's worked in the state legislature, I can't confirm. They don't make a lot of money. I think it's $16,000 or $18,000 a year, I think, that they make in serving their citizenry. So they're not going to be able to take unlimited time off from their other jobs. Many of them, who knows what's going to happen there. And then that gets complicated. Who knows if there are people that they work for that maybe don't align with their political beliefs and their strategies. They might say, if you're not back tomorrow, you're going to lose your job. We don't know, right? I'm just making some suppositions here, but I'm sure that's a real possibility. So they call another special session. The Democrats leave again. I don't know. Ultimately, that redistricting vote is going to happen, and the quorum will be back. There'll be enough people. They'll vote on it, and we'll pass. So then, like I said the other day, if Gavin Newsom, Kathy Hochul, J.B. Pritzker, Wes Moore, who've all talked about doing this, if they don't respond by gerrymandering their districts, then fuck them, quite frankly. Because that will just prove to everybody that the Democratic Party, the status quo Democrats, are just weak, feckless, and cowards. My expectation is they're going to do it. We'll see. But it's just to me, it's just fascinating that you're going to tell people, and again, the mouth breathing potatoes will believe it. Oh, they're breaking the law. What law are they breaking? Well, they're breaking it. They weren't supposed to leave. They can't leave Texas. No, they can't leave. Who says? Well, I say. So again, they'll find some excuse to try to justify it, and there is none. Okay. I think I have some more reporting on Texas specifically. We talked about ICE. We talked about that. What's this story? Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get it. I'll hang on one second. Let me just do this first. James Tellerico was on with Joe Rogan a while back, and I think that we need to hear from James Tellerico a lot more. He's a representative in Texas. He's part of the walkout. He's part of them expressing their rights to constitutionality, and he's been on Joe Rogan. And Joe questioned him in Joe's style, and here you go.
You want to know? Okay, we're talking. Yeah. We're honestly here. Okay, that bill was passed by Representative Ken King, a Republican, someone I often have disagreements with, but he's a good man. He's from far north Panhandle, where they saw historic wildfires last year. So he put this bill that would have addressed wildfires, also flooding, and would have, I think, saved some of the lives in the Hill Country over the weekend during those catastrophic floods. That bill passed the state house, the lower chamber that I'm in, on a bipartisan basis. Overwhelmingly, Democrats and Republicans said, this is good policy, let's pass it. Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor, who controls the state Senate, which is the upper chamber, he held that bill hostage so that he could get his THC ban through. And again, I know this may be confusing people outside of Texas. We legalized hemp a few years ago. It's a booming industry. It's a product that's providing people a lot of relief. Dan Patrick decided to put this bill forward that would ban all THC products in the state of Texas, basically close hundreds of businesses across the state, lay off thousands of people.
Why do you think you do that?
Let's go back, follow the money.
Okay.
What industry do you think was most invested in taking this new product off the market?
Pharmaceutical drugs?
No.
Alcohol?
Big alcohol. Big beer.
So Texas, they're coming for your 420 because of Dan Patrick in bed with the big beer lobby. So I'm just letting you know. Okay? I'm warning you that there's however many millions of people voted for Kamala Harris. But Kamala Harris received more votes in the last election for the presidency than Greg Abbott has ever received running for governor. So keep that in mind. Okay? Just keep that in mind. On that topic, I just got a note in the mod chat. Let me just look at this. This is reporting from The Hill from John Cornyn. FBI director approved request to help locate runaway Texas Democrats. Senator Cornyn says FBI Director Kash Patel has approved his request to help state and local law enforcement locate Texas Democrats who have fled the Lone Star State in hopes of stalling a partisan redistricting effort. Okay. Quote, I'm proud to announce that Director Patel has approved my request for the FBI to assist state and local law enforcement in locating runaway Texas House Democrats. Cornyn said in a statement this morning. I thank President Trump and Director Patel for supporting and swiftly acting on my call for the federal government to hold these supposed lawmakers accountable for fleeing Texas. Cornyn posted on social media platform X earlier today that Patel had responded to his request to assist state and local law enforcement to locate runaway Texas House Democrats and investigate potential offenses. Thank you, Director Patel, for your swift response and action. Cornyn asked Patel in an August 5th letter for the FBI to, quote, take appropriate steps to aid in Texas state law enforcement efforts to locate and or arrest potential lawbreakers who have fled the state to stop a Republican-led redistricting effort from moving forward. The lawmakers have left Texas to prevent the state house from achieving a quorum, which is necessary for the Republicans' redistricting legislation to move forward. Cornyn says the lawmakers are potentially acting in violation of the law. Okay, words matter. I'm going to ask the FBI to round up people because they are potentially acting in violation of the law. Potentially acting in violation of the law. What law do they break? What law do they break? Can you not leave Texas? Well, I guess if you're a woman who wants to get reproductive health care, there's that. But what law are they breaking? Are they literally not allowed to leave Texas? The House rules require a quorum. A method to stop legislation is breaking the quorum. That's not a law. That's not a law. That's not a law. There is no law. They haven't broken any law. John Cornyn, senior senator from the state of Texas, potentially acting in violation of the law. Quote, specifically, I'm concerned that legislators who solicited or accepted funds to aid in their efforts to avoid their legislative duties may be guilty of bribery or other public corruption offenses. Are you fucking kidding me? $1 billion Qatari jet, John Cornyn. The senator warned that his request is, quote, time sensitive as the Texas legislature is in special session with 2 weeks left to redraw the congressional map. President Trump has also supported the effort. Oh, my God. It's mind-boggling to me that the people in Texas, it's John Cornyn, Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, others just think that voters are so stupid that they don't see this, because that's what they really believe. They just think that people are just dumb and they won't know what's going on. They're telling you that. They really are telling you that. It's wild. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Skipping breakfast? You're hurting your energy, your focus.
Chris?
Oh,
Chris.
Hey,
I can hear you
can
now.
you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I can, yes.
So Cornyn's sitting there talking about they potential. He is a Texas lawmaker. He's a lawmaker, isn't he? Ingredients.
He's
a lawmaker, isn't he?
He's a lawmaker. He's a federal lawmaker. Correct.
Okay, and he's from Texas, right?
Correct.
So that means that he probably came out of the Texas legislature at some point.
I believe he did.
Okay, so there should be no phrase that ever escapes his lips Go to oatsovernight.com. that states that they are potentially breaking a law because he was a Texas lawmaker, so he should know what law they're breaking.
Correct. One would think.
So, first of all, if that's what's coming out of his mouth, he's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, if he's saying that they could have taken bribes, well, the first thing you're going to need to do is investigate whether or not they did. And you don't need them there to do that. So why don't you investigate it? And if you come up with something special, then you can send the posse after him and bring him back. But that's not what he's doing. He's trying to drag these potential lawbreakers back so that they can make laws. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
It does not. It's exactly right. You've got a pretty good echo, my guy. So I'm going to drop you. But if you want to come back later, you can. Thanks for being here, pal. I appreciate you. So it's a really good point, right? What law are they breaking? And no one has claimed that. We just discussed this. What law are they breaking? Greg Abbott can use rhetoric. Greg Abbott's also the same kind of person that they've given up their seat. First of all, it's not their seat. I've got sound from one of the elected officials in that state, and he talks about it very, very well. It's not any individual seat. It belongs to the citizens and residents of the state of Texas, just like any elected body. You don't get to pick and choose, right? You're there to serve your constituency. That's the job. And I think what people really kind of fail to remember here is that we have a system of government that requires people to do their job, which is representing their constituency. And the constituency in Texas now is under threat because of people like Greg Abbott, because of people like Dan Patrick, because of people like Ken Paxton, et cetera, et cetera. So here's Jasmine Crockett addressing this. By the way, can we just, every time Jasmine Crockett speaks, can we just stop whatever we're doing and just listen? Because we should.
And Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman, thank you so much as always for joining us. Governor Abbott just announced that he has ordered the Texas Department of Public Safety to find and arrest the House Democrats who have fled the state. You're in the Chicago area with some of those Democratic representatives. What's the plan with them? Obviously, at some point, you have to return to the state of Texas eventually. So ultimately, does it seem that it's a foregone conclusion that this bill will pass?
I don't say ultimately. I never say ultimately because I don't have a give up attitude whatsoever. But right now, the governor has decided that he wants to waste more of Texans' resources by deciding that he's going to send out the troopers. And listen, I don't even think that he's going to do that. I think he's just talking. So they know that there's nothing that he can do outside of the Texas jurisdiction to bring them in. This is one of the reasons they are in another state. His authority does not extend throughout the entirety of the United States. So he's just talking the big talk so that, he can rile up his base. Ultimately, what will happen, we don't know. I know that we've been in litigation since 2021 over the current maps. I am one of the plaintiffs in that case, and I do know that the state the entire time has taken the position that they issued maps that were race neutral. And then all of a sudden, once they got a letter from the DOJ that talked about race, they somehow flipped the script and they decided that they wanted to do new maps, seemingly at their prompting. So now they're kind of dancing around their position, and now it seems like they're going to flip positions.
You've said that the new maps do nothing but divide, distract, and depress. What's your understanding of how your district will change if these maps do pass?
My district, what they did is they did a thing that we call, they packed my district up and then they cracked minorities from another community. And so what they did is they've increased the number of African Americans in my district. But while they were cracking out persons from another community and packing them into my community.
In response to this plan, we've seen Democrats in states like New York and California say that they would look into redistricting as well. Would you encourage them to do that?
I absolutely do. We are in a fight for the soul of this country. Morality seems to be out the window and legality seems to be out the window. But hopefully we can bring some of that back. And it is going to take a real fight. And sometimes you got to get down on the level that they're on. These people they're grimy. It is time for us to show other Democrats and even independents or honestly, Americans, that we are up for this fight, that we are not weak, that we will not allow a bully to punch us in our face and then say thank you and I'm sorry, but instead we are not only going to punch you back, but we are going to knock you out.
Not only are we going to punch back, but we're going to knock you out. I love that. Jasmine for the win. Good morning, Huey. How are you today?
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted
what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to say when it comes to like the Texas situation that like I looked up the statistics in terms of like the voters, and it looks like it's way more purple than people realize. Like this is why they're gerrymandering, because it looks like, you know, it's like about 2 million more voters in regards to like Democrats versus Republicans in the state of Texas. And this is why they're scrambling. I think that they're seizing or realizing that like they need to go and like grasp for power, because, you know, people's minds are evolving and they're, you know, they're growing. Technology is more advanced than they've ever been. So, you know, these like closed-minded perspectives are dying, and they're just fighting for, you know, just for relevancy.
It's a very good point, and I think the results of the last election prove it. Like Kamala Harris got more votes in Texas for her presidency than Greg Abbott has ever gotten in his runs for the governorship. So you're right. So I think from everybody that I've spoken to and from reading the tea leaves, you know, Texas is purple. I think it's safe to say. I mean, we think about it as in terms of it being bright red. The similar argument that the right likes to make now, that the reason California is doing this because California is going red, and once California goes red, then the Democrats will never win the White House again. And that is true. But the same thing holds true in reverse. If the Republicans lose Texas, it's game over. It's game over.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping in today, Huey. I appreciate you.
No problem.
See you later.
No problem.
It was blue in the 80s. Ann Richards, right? Early 90s. It's been 30 years. It's a long time. Texans need change, and they want it. And there's millions of Texas voters there, including independents, that are going to have a strong voice, and they're watching what's happening, and they're taking notes. They're really taking notes. Too quick. Looks like you've timed out, friend. You can request again if you'd like. No problem. Amanda, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
So I just saw the news. Trump is calling for a new census.
Is that literally breaking news now?
Yeah. I think it's an overreach of power. I mean, that's not unheard of with him, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they can, of course, but it's going to take Congress, I think. I mean, who the fuck knows? But of course, he's going to try to do that because they realize what they're doing is just bullshit.
Yeah. And of course, It comes with a kicker.
What's the kicker?
We're not going to count undocumented.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Of course. Of course. Yep.
And that's unheard of. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting us know. Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good day.
You too. So this reporting. So this is from just this is from yesterday. Texas Democrats who fled to Illinois forced to evacuate hotel after bomb threat. Texas State House Democrats who left their state to prevent Republicans from passing a new congressional district map were forced to evacuate their hotel after a threat. But officials have said everyone is safe. The St. Charles Police Department in Illinois said officers responded to a report of a boom boom at about 7:15 Central Time yesterday at a hotel where the Democrats were staying, likely a Hyatt hotel. The Pritzker family owns the Hyatt fortune. The department's officers, along with those from the fire department and the Kane County Sheriff's Office, conducted a thorough search and did not find any devices. The release said 400 people were evacuated as the boom squad moved in, conducted their search, and then everyone has been able to return to the hotel. Illinois Governor Pritzker said he's aware of the threats and instructed the Illinois State Police to ensure that the public safety is maintained. Threats of violence will be investigated and those responsible will be held accountable, Pritzker said on X. A group of Texas State House Democratic leaders, Democratic Caucus Chair Gene Wu, Mexican-American Legislative Caucus Chair Ramon Romero, and Legislative Black Caucus Chair Barbara Gervin Hawkins said in a statement that a threat was made on Wednesday against the members, but everyone is safe. We are safe. We are secure. We are undeterred. We are grateful for Governor Pritzker, local state law enforcement for their quick action to ensure our safety. So conspiracy theorists are going to say, well, that was a setup. Someone found out where they were. They just wanted to confirm. Now that John Cornyn's got support for the FBI, is the FBI going to circle the wagons? These are all the things that we talked about prior to the election were going to happen about people who were on the left, right? I haven't done my daily. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, President Trump, CIA Director Radcliffe, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Vice President J.D. Vance. I'm Steve. Facts. Here every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till noon. Fuck you. Thanks. So this is what we told people was going to happen. It's not just about division. It's not just about legitimate political discourse. It's about eliminating your enemy. It's about eliminating the threat. So am I a threat to democracy? Am I? Are people? Yeah, exactly. Am I a threat? Because I stand for human rights, because I stand for universal health care, education, protection of marginalized communities. Am I a threat? Am I a threat because I call out you expressing my constitutional protected right of free speech, petitioning the government against grievances? Am I a threat? Are the people in Texas who are standing in support of their constituents because they are elected representatives representing their constituents, are they a threat? MAGA's solution to everything is deny the truth, and then if you don't like the results, just threaten arrest. Okay, it's good to know. I'll just remind people of a few things. That the pendulum will swing. It will swing. And I am done playing fucking nice. I am done. I would love for a future FBI and Department of Homeland Security secretary under the next Democratic administration to say, we've identified anybody who has a MAGA flag, a Trump hat, a Trump sign, whatever it might be, has never made a social media post, et cetera, we deem them as domestic terrorists, and we are issuing arrest warrants for all of them. Then we will build concentration camps in cold climates with no walls, no food, nothing. And we'll throw their fucking asses in there. And then we'll laugh. And then we'll have pride parades right out in front every single day. And then we'll put Taylor Swift on loudspeakers and blast it into the facilities all day long, every day. We are better than that, but do we need to be? We are better than that, but do we need to be? Is the question. If this is the game, if this is where we are now, and this is where we are now, never mind if, we are there. We have reached that spot. Just because you're in power now, so what's going to happen when you get a knock on the door? What's going to happen when law enforcement wearing masks goes to your mediocre job as the assistant to the assistant general manager at the Waffle House and says, you know what? I don't like the way you look. I'm going to drag you into I'm going to put you in a concentration camp because I don't like the way that you look. I don't need to identify myself. I'm an ICE agent. I don't need to. I question your validity. I question whether or not you're a citizen. Well, I am. Well, I don't give a shit. You're here. You're here illegally. Yeah. Okay. That's the game you want to play? That's the game you want to play? Exactly. Let me see your tattoos. Oh, that's a Christian nationalist symbol. No, it's not. It's my family crest. No, it's a Christian nationalist symbol. Well, how do you know? Well, because I'm telling you it is. If that's the game that you want to play, then let's fucking play. Bring it. Let's go. Sign me the fuck up. I don't want it to come to that level, but we're here. And we didn't start this, but you're damn fucking right. We're going to finish it because I am done playing fucking nice with Nazis. I am done playing nice with fascists. I am done playing nice with people who can marginalize and other individuals at every single turn and then laugh about it. I am done playing nice with people getting off literally on suffering. I'm done. Lock them the fuck up. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Drive around in deepest, brightest red parts of wherever it is and pick a state. Let's use Oklahoma. Bright red Oklahoma. Every county voted for Trump. Let's get rainbow colored ICE vans and drive around every community looking for Trump flags, because again, according to Tom Homan, we can use a person's skin color to identify them as a potential threat. So every single white person that we see in Oklahoma that's got a red hat on, we're going to use Tom Homan's logic to identify them as a threat, and then drag them off their porch, drag them away from their mediocre, middle class, low labor, low skilled job, and then send them to a correctional facility, an internment camp, a detention center. Okay, let's fucking play. You want to fucking play? Let's fucking play. Enjoy your time now. Enjoy your time now, because that's what's coming. You know what? It's that famous scene. I don't want you to ask any questions. We're gonna hurt somebody. Whose car are we taking? Seriously, I'm done. I am fucking done. Ask me again. I'm done. And a lot of it to me is so unnecessary. If we could just fucking educate our society, inform them of the truth, and stop lying to people every single day. Linda McMahon, Secretary of Education, being humiliated once again. And I want to play this now because I think it's appropriate, because what we're discussing is an opportunity to rewrite history. And that's what I want. Got a couple of guest requests here. Let me just bang through these and we'll keep moving. Debo, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Not bad. So I came in as you were talking about, you were saying that if they're, I don't know, something about being Hispanic and that they came here legally, and then you proceeded to say if they have a tattoo, it's because you say so. One person is violating federal law, the other one is because you say so, and then you call MAGA.
I think you missed the point. You're conflating a couple of different things. No, you're conflating because you didn't hear what you didn't hear what I said. You didn't hear what I said.
Okay.
Don't forget, because what Tom Homan said and Donald Trump said is that we can use a person's tattoos as reasons to justify dragging them into ICE detention centers. So my response would be then, so if we're going to be using tattoos, then we can question somebody else's tattoos. If that's the bar that we are now at, then turnabout's fair play, right?
Do you think that Abrego Garcia had gang-affiliated tattoos, yes or no?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think those? Okay. So
it's not about what I think. It's my guy. It's not about what I think.
You're saying it's because you say so, and now it's not because of what you think.
You asked me the question. You asked me the question. It's not what I think. It's what we know. It's not what. Do you believe that he had MS-13 on his knuckles?
I think there was plenty of evidence to prove that he was affiliated.
No, you think that. There was no evidence. That's my point. You're proving my point. I don't know if you realize that, but you are proving my point. Because I could say, to you, hold on a second, hold on. Because I could say, because you said, I think there's evidence. So I could use the same argument on you. I could say, look at that tattoo. It looks like a Christian nationalist symbol. Therefore, I'm going to use that as justification to take your rights away.
Do you know what that cross? Okay, so we're going like 8 different directions all the time. So
can you just let's try to have this conversation. Try to follow my logic. We'll try to follow my logic. Okay,
I am.
Try to follow my logic because wait a minute. Because Tom Homan. Hold on. I will. Tom Homan and the President of the United States said that he had an MS-13 tattoo on his knuckles. He did not. They made the assumption that the tattoos that he had in an attempt to justify locking him up. So my argument then to you is, if that's the bar that we're going to use, then anybody under a Democratic-led administration, they could say, well, you know what? I think that is similar to a Yahtzee swastika, or I think that resembles a Christian nationalist symbol, and therefore that's my justification for taking away that person's rights. I'm just trying to use the exact same logic that the right's been using. That's all.
So what I'm trying to say is that there were multiple, it wasn't just the tattoos on his knuckles that do represent affiliation with that, those.
In your opinion. In your opinion.
Dude, like.
Then cite your source.
I can lead you to water. I can't make you drink.
No, then cite your source. You can't just come up here and make a statement.
Well, let me finish my point.
You made a claim. You made a claim that his tattoos are meant that he had a gang affiliation. So
there's a plethora of evidence proving that not only just the knuckles on a tattoo. That's what I'm trying to say, but you're not allowing me to say it.
Cite your source. It's not your opinion. Cite your source.
What are you asking me to cite?
You made a claim that there are other identifying characteristics.
I'm trying to, and you keep over-talking me.
My guy, do you know what a source is?
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, the people that he initially got arrested with, that started the whole thing back in 2019, were known affiliates with that membership. Right?
According to
the 2 police officers, one that got
right. According to a police officer, did they get their day in court? So are we just supposed to believe?
Are you going to allow me to talk, or are you just
no? Because you're talking nonsense. I am asking you to provide a source, and you've yet to been able to do that.
I'm trying to outline my source, and then when I get done, if it doesn't fulfill your endless need of stupidity, then you might get an answer.
Listen. You telling me a statement from a law enforcement official, that's not a source.
He's a gang enforcement police officer.
So what? Does that mean it's true?
No, but it's in the court documents that's all going to get played out in court.
Right. So
I mean, this miraculous man that you all love so much.
I don't love him.
Beat his wife.
I don't love him.
You guys are all, women's rights. Let's stand up for women. But this guy was the biggest piece of shit to his wife.
I don't disagree.
You guys are sitting here defending him. It's wild.
No, I'm not. I'm not defending him. I'm defending due process.
Then what? He doesn't get due process.
Why doesn't he?
Excuse me. He did get due process. He went into a court.
Wait a minute. He did not get due process.
He never even seek asylum within the 1 year period.
He did not get due process.
So therefore, he's here illegally. He was here for 12 years.
Okay, I'm sticking a sock in your mouth. He did not get due process because the Supreme Court 9-0 decision said the Trump administration needs to facilitate his return. So
that's why they brought him back.
Begrudgingly, didn't they? So again,
but they brought him back.
So, okay, once again, my argument to you is this. I'm not defending Abrego Garcia. I'm defending everyone's rights to due process. I'm not.
You guys always defend the criminals, and it's wild.
I'm not. No, you voted for a criminal, my guy, so you don't have no argument to stand on.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, you did. So you don't think that Donald Trump's a convicted felon?
Oh, no, he absolutely is in the worst kangaroo court in American history. But
right, a kangaroo court. So, kangaroo court. Can you tell me, let's start again. Can you tell me what you had for breakfast?
I didn't eat breakfast this morning.
Good, I don't fucking care either way. The logic, right? It's just the logic, okay? The logic is specific. If you're going to, I'm only using the words that Donald Trump and Tom Homan used. Identifying characteristics. Identifying characteristics. According to whom? According to whom? the president with a Photoshop MS-13 that he actually thought was real? Identifying characteristics. So if the shoe were on the other foot, a far left-leaning ICE agent head, somebody that replaces Tom Homan, a far left-leaning liberal president, then they can say an identifying characteristic is that tattoo. It looks a lot like a Christian nationalist. I'm just going to deport you. Why do you people not understand that this is the mess that you've created? Why is it so difficult to understand that? I don't give a fuck about Abrego Garcia. I don't care. I do not care about any individual who's committed crimes. What I care about is due process. That's what I care about. I'm not defending. It seems like he's got a lot of bad shit in his past. I'm not defending him. I'm defending due process. It's really simple. It's really simple. And because, well, the reason that MAGA doesn't get it is because they're just dumb. If the shoe were on the other foot, you would be complaining. Like if we had a knock on your door, previous guest, and there might be a tattoo that someone could say, you know what, there could be a gang specialist who works for law enforcement who says, you know what, I've seen that before. That person's affiliated with a gang. Because that's all the claim that you made. That's it. And you lose your argument every time. Your bigotry is showing. Don't know what to tell you. And your racism is showing. Don't know what to tell you. The triple OG. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, man. Great show you presenting there. I just want to chime in real quick. I think you're looking for folks who are on the right leaning.
No, I don't. I talk to anybody. I don't care.
Okay, and I don't want to badger anyone necessarily, but I will be accused of being a left. But I don't like labels.
Why would you don't look at that as an accusation? If you believe in human rights, then you're on the proper side of history. So don't sweat it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. That's good feedback. And I jumped in the conversation because I have a family member who is over there, and it's easy to love them, but it's hard to tolerate them and understand. So with it being a family member, somebody else might could speak to it, but you're almost forced to deal with these people, and the love creates a situation where you're trying to understand them and trying to listen and use like I heard you kept using the word logic in there, and I'm at a point now where I've resigned to the fact that logic is not an option when you're talking to these folks, and I've kind of stepped back a little bit because I don't want to get sucked in, because when you use logic or try to debate or argue, they don't have a clue. And they're Americans, they're family members, they're friends. So you want them to be all right, but it's really a sad situation for the entire country, in my opinion.
Yeah, we've had these conversations before. I mean, the family dynamic is tough. I know families have been fractured and divided regarding, political leanings and shit like that. I understand it. I get it. I mean, I'm fortunate that I'm not in that position, but I certainly have separated myself from people who I used to think were friends. But are not anymore because of their political beliefs. Family dynamic is harder, but I think the obligation, I would say this to you. People who advocate for human rights and people who advocate for due process and people who respect differences and want to support and be voices for marginalized communities, I don't think it's on us to try to keep those relationships intact, quite frankly.
Yeah, exactly. But see, that's the thing, it's hard for me. So maybe this is my therapy session with you. It feels like it because this is a close family member, so you can't just cut them off. But you gotta. For me, it's like, I can't talk to this person. I can't. I pray for them. I want them to be all right. But then, to your point earlier, you said you voted for them, so that's the thing.
Exactly.
What they and it's. I don't, my person, again, I keep using them as an example, but anyone over there on that side, can you imagine for them what it's like if they find out they're wrong or you show them the evidence, they just refuse it's just a weird time for me. I don't get it at all. I need help with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. It's one of the things we talk about every day. Let's just use the previous conversation as an example. One of the things that I talk about in, one of the fundamental characteristics of autocracy, of autocratic authoritarian regimes is the diminishing and or the poking holes, the tearing down of traditional systems, whether it be media, whether it be the courts, whether it be education, whether it be science. And our previous guest did the exact same thing.
Statistics and economics. Don't forget that part, the statistics.
Exactly, all of it. So when I made the comment about crime and you guys support criminals, I'm like, you voted for a 34-time felon. Oh yeah, in a kangaroo court. So that's a perfect example of somebody who's been brainwashed by the cult. Right
yeah.
Now, in their mind, the only way that their guy would get a fair trial would be if it's in a deep, dark, red Trump district that he won by 65 points, or Aileen Cannon, a hand-picked judge in Florida that he chose, gives him all kinds of advantages. And when you ask them that question, was that fair? Their answer, of course, is going to be absolutely, it's fair. So that's an example of what we're talking about here. There's no sense. Somebody made this point in the comment. Facts, I appreciate you trying to outsmart MAGA, but you can't outsmart them. You have to outdumb them.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. It's kind of true, right?
Right. So I'm over here dealing with a guy like Tommy Tuberville, so you can feel sorry for me too.
Well, are you in Alabama?
Yeah.
So come back next Tuesday because I'm going to be interviewing a Democratic candidate for governor in your state. His name is Dr. Will Boyd. He will be joining us he'll be joining me at 11 o'clock next Tuesday.
I love his campaign, but I don't think he has a chance in the red state.
Well, we're going to do our best. I mean, I know a black man running to be the governor of Alabama. I respect his courage, and I'm going to do everything we can. I'm going to do everything we can to try to promote him. So we'll be back.
Good. I think I will endorse him too, but yeah, his long shot.
Agreed. Nothing wrong with long shots, though. But that'd be my advice. You have to ask yourself how far you're willing to engage, but don't feel obligated. You don't have to break bread with bigots.
Oh yeah, because it goes to your own mental health or your own peace of mind. Yeah, you gotta put some distance in between. And I think I don't want to get off your topics or anything, but 3 years from now we'll see. That's kind of what part of my strategy is to. Let's see what happens in 28 and 27, 29. And there's another fight going on, getting ready for if there's another election.
There will be. Keep the faith.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for jumping in today. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'll hit the follow button.
Same here. See you later. Take care. That was a fascinating conversation before our previous guest, right? Like, what we're trying to, I think it's high time that we start using the exact same rhetoric that the right has been using for a decade now against them. If you want to say that we can justify rounding people up by their appearance or where they work or who they associate with, then let's just do the same thing in reverse, right? Your appearance, you got a red hat and a MAGA hat, we think it's a threat. It's an indicator that you're part of a gang-like movement designed to overthrow democracy. Well, that's not true. Okay, well then that's too bad. That's what we think. I just realized this, guys. I wouldn't, Patrick, you're so sweet. Where you been? We made plans without you, but thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Okay. Let's see, Deuce. Good morning, Deuce. How are you?
I'm good, Steve. I just want to make a few points. I don't want to hold you up. The first point is thank you for what you do. Because I'll be honest with you, I am a registered Republican. I have voted Republican about 75-80% of my life. I did vote for Trump in 2016. I'm sorry. But I wanted to make a point that I never researched anything, looked into anything. I just went by the headlines. And it's people like you, like Danny, Josh Lapazin, different people on social media that even if a maggot comes in and somebody like me and gets some type of facts, that may be the catalyst that sends them to go, hey, research that, which is what happened with me. And in 2024, I actually started researching what both candidates said and realized all the lies that were going on. And that's what switched me. And I voted for Harris in 2024. I have to switch my registration. I don't consider myself a Republican, at least not Republican in the state of where we're at right now. And I don't know if I'd vote Republican again because of the policies now that I know. But that's the first point. The second point is that you're talking about Abrego Garcia. And what people fail to realize is that he had the WOR, withholding of removal, which he couldn't be removed to his home country, but he could be removed to a third country. But in order to do that, they had to, I think it's give him either a 15-day notice or 30-day notice and a hearing to, before they could even remove him to a third country. They didn't do that. And then all this stuff, if you look into the gang affiliation, I mean, it all falls apart if you actually research it. I don't want to go into it, blah, blah, blah.
It does.
And then the third point is, I think you're 100% right. We have to start fighting the way they fight, acting the way they act. If they have no problem being tread on, and they have no problem with people being picked up by how they look or tattoos, then what the hell? Why not? Why? We should do it too. Maybe give them a taste of their own medicine. Time to stop playing nice and play go low when they go low. So that's all I want to say, Steve. Thank you for everything you do. It does make a difference, even if it just gets one fact in front of these people. That could be the catalyst to make them research and find out the truth. So I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you too, friend. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's the kind of point I was trying to make earlier, right? So we could say, like, identifying characteristics. Anybody with truck nuts and a Punisher tattoo, we believe that you're part of a movement to overthrow the government. We don't have any evidence. We don't need any. That's enough. Identifying characteristics. Oh, you've got the Jesus crown thorn tattoo. You've got all these other identifying characteristics that you've been using to justify rounding up people who are innocent. And we're going to do the exact same thing. Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? If that's the game you want to play, then let's play it. How do we know you're here legally? I'm white. I don't care. How do I know you're here legally? I think you're here illegally. We're going to deport you back to someplace. You look like you're from northeastern Siberia, so we're going to send you there. You look like you're from some poor, impoverished land. We're going to send you back there. That's the game. They've told us. They've given us the blueprint. We're going to use identifying characteristics, including a person's appearance and skin color. Tom Homan told us that. Donald Trump supports it. If you've got tattoos that someone says, you know what, that looks like a Punisher tattoo, and Punisher tattoo is on our list. Okay, anybody with a Punisher tattoo, truck nuts, red hat, pterodactyl flying Trump flag, we believe you guys are part of a subversive movement that's designed to create civil distrust and unrest and is a threat to democracy. Therefore, we are just going to round your asses up. Cool. Good to know. Let's do it. Sign me up. Let's do it. Let's deputize individuals in our community. Let's not ask for credentials. Let's offer to pay people $50,000 as a sign-on bonus. Let's give them student loan forgiveness. Let's guarantee their health care. Let's give them rainbow-colored masks. Let them do their thing. Let's go. Sign me the fuck up. Good morning, buddy.
Hello there.
Hello there. I missed it. I missed my cue. Hold on. There it is.
Hello there.
There you are. Sorry.
I mean, really, you got one fucking job, bro.
I know. I do. I've got 4, but that's the one job I had at that moment. Yes. Yes.
By the way, today we have our wife and our daughter sending you love as we are heading up to deal with family stuff in Northern California. But we just wanted to come on and share a little funny, little entertainment break here.
Please.
So as we're traveling the exciting route of I-5 North, there will be cows, trees with various nuts, D's nuts. Hey now.
Hey now.
And so there was this crop that we couldn't identify, and yours truly said, "I think it's sorghum."
Of course it was.
Our wife was like, "No, it's not sorghum. It doesn't look like it." And I said, "I think it's sorghum." And then our daughter announced that it's a cereal grain used in feed. And then, sure enough, I said, "Hey, why don't we look up things that grow like corn?" And
it was sorghum.
Yeah.
See? Trust the youngsters.
So listen, I'm not just about maths and spreadsheets. I'm also about agricultural products and agricultural product accessories.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, dude,
yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Everybody needs to know something.
Okay.
If you're not supporting Steve, fucking support him. Give him a hand heart, a hand job, a gift.
I'm sorry. What? Wait a minute. What was that? I don't know. I don't know if that just slipped. If that slipped out, but hey. Hey, I mean, you know.
He just reacted.
Okay. I'm just. I don't even know how to respond to that. Rarely am I speechless, but there you go. Gosh, I might need to excuse myself. Just the thought of it.
We wanted to tell you that we love you, and
love you too.
We wanted to provide a little entertainment while we're here in the car, because as you could imagine, having me be at the helm for 5 hours and you being stuck in the car with me may or may not be entertaining.
It's a good point.
User discretion is advised. So
it's a good point. It's a good point.
And I'll pop you off an email tomorrow, and we'll probably get in touch early next week so we can try to do some capitalism together.
Sounds good.
And most important, it's not just about supporting Steve. It's about supporting Steve so that he can continue to do the work that he does, which really, from an economic and a capitalism standpoint, is a net loss. So if we could help him out, make sure that we reach our daily goal, and you do whatever you can. And listen, if one of the suggestions sounds like something you would like, slide in the DMs, and let's see if we can't make a love connection.
Give him a hand job while you're at
it. So thank you, Jess. Jess says, because there were 1,000 people, 946 hand jobs, his wee-wee will be raw. Hey, listen. When you live alone, even the thought of that is intriguing. I'm just saying. I'll leave it right there. I love you guys. Thank you so very, very much for your kindness. And then just when you get updates about what we know is going on, just let me know. I appreciate you.
Yes. Yep. Well, and it started yesterday, right? So the clock is now a ticking. Okay.
Yes, it is indeed.
And they also, by the way, they
Yeah.
have your contact stuff, so they may reach out to you as it gets closer.
Sounds good to me. I love you guys very much.
And when I say reach out, I mean reach out and touch someone.
Yeah, exactly. I love you guys. Get back on the road.
Love
Take
you.
care. Be safe.
Bye.
Okay. Wow. That took a turn. Facts After Dark. Thursday morning. Brings out a whole new meaning to reach out to Steve. It's so true. It is so true. Namaste. Oh my God, that was funny. I'm never going to hear the end of that in the mod chat. It's going to turn into 4 hours of just whatever. Anyway. Okay. And I don't even smoke. Hey now. Okay, back to our topic. If that's the argument that people are going to use to justify violating people's rights, then I say, sign me the fuck up. Let's go. Right? Let's go. And that's what our previous guest doesn't understand. You want to justify the amount of mental gymnastics that the right goes through to justify this shit. And again, their argument dies on the vine. As it relates to Epstein, they think that we're going to defend people like Bill Clinton and whoever else might be on the list. I don't give a fuck about any of them. You guys, Clinton on the list, we don't give a fuck. Well, this guy, we don't give a fuck. Well, Bill Gates, we don't give a fuck. Same thing. Well, Abrego Garcia, but we don't give a fuck. I don't care about Abrego Garcia. That's not the point. I care about his rights to due process. That's what I care about. If he's got criminality in his past, that's okay. Then hold him accountable for it. Throw him in fucking jail. Don't give a shit. Care about due process. So if that's the argument we're going to use tattoos, appearance, association, people you hang around with, where you were. If that's our justification, then you might get a knock on the door in your fucking Klan rally in Alabama. So buckle the fuck up. You may not want to wear any identifying traits. You might want to take your truck nuts off. When you back your truck up, you might want to put your Punisher t-shirt away, because those are identifying characteristics. And if that's the rule, if those are the rules now, then those are the rules. Don't know what to tell you otherwise. If those are the rules, then those are the rules. JP, how are you today?
I'm good.
And?
You asked me a question. I just responded to your question.
You requested? You have something on your mind?
Yeah. So, was the law followed when all these immigrants came into the country?
What law?
The laws on immigrating into this country and how we accept immigrants.
What are the laws? Do you know what they are?
Yeah. I'm asking you, though. I'm not going to... I'm asking you a question. Answer the question. Stop trying to pin it back to me. Just answer the question.
It doesn't work that way, sir. This is
100% because you're scared.
No,
if you stand on that, answer the question.
Can you just put a sock in your mouth for a second?
No, because you guys, come on, just answer the question. If you can't answer the question, you lose.
It doesn't work that way. Okay, I'm gonna stick a sock in your mouth. The question that I asked you is relevant. You need to understand what the law is.
You muted me. The mute starts when they start losing. They start muting. Answer the question.
What law are you referring to, sir? That was the question I was asking you. What law are you referring to?
The immigration laws on accepting immigrants for the second time.
It's not about accepting immigrants. Are you talking about the asylum law?
Is there a law to accept immigrants? Is there a law that people have to follow, right? A due process that the people have to follow to get into this country? Or do people
you don't see the question that you're asking, it doesn't apply here. I'm trying to get you to understand. You're talking about a law. So are you saying that people cannot enter our country? Is that the claim that you're making?
Did I say that?
That's what I'm asking you. I'm trying to understand what you're talking about.
I never said that.
What are you talking about?
I'm asking you.
What law? What law are you talking about?
Can people just come right into our country? Can people come right into?
Yes, they can.
No, they cannot. No, they can't.
Yes,
they have to go through a port of entry, right?
No, they don't.
They have to seek asylum. They have to go. They have to claim that. You don't just get to walk over a border and just say, "Hey, I'm here now."
Yes, they can.
That is not the law, sir.
You want to bet?
100%. AOC got owned by Tom Homan in
cool.
Congress.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah, Tom Homan. Yeah. So again, is it your claim that you can only claim asylum if you cross the border at a port of entry? Is that your claim?
No, you can come. You have to go to a port of entry if you want to become an immigrant to the United States of America.
You do not.
100%.
You do not. So then you're making that claim 100%. Then what's your source for that?
An asylum seeker is different, right? You can seek asylum, right? But were all those people that sought asylum, did they go through the process of seeking asylum?
That's what the process is, my guy.
Did they go through the process? Yes or no?
How would we know?
Did they go through the process? Yes or no?
JP, how would we know that?
I'm asking you a question. Did they go through the process? Yes or no?
I am responding by answering you. The question is, how would we know?
You're answering with a question. Answer yes or no. Did these people that came through
That's the process, JP. That's the process.
Did the man in New York City, right, that burned a woman alive on the subway, was he seeking asylum? Did he get tracked? Was he seeking asylum?
Do you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know?
I do know.
Okay, what's your source then for that?
He was an illegal immigrant that got kicked out the country and was told never to come back. And they opened borders.
You're now moving the goalposts. You're now moving the goalposts.
No, I'm not. You're scared.
Yes,
you
are. I'm not running.
Your little
You're moving
fragile
the goalposts.
liberal heart's breaking in two because I'm spitting facts.
I don't know what fact you think you've spit.
The fact is that you got some thick binoculars on your face and you need to look at your computer and look this stuff up.
Oh, cool. Do you enjoy being such a hateful prick?
No. Oh, wow. Someone cussed. Did I cuss?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't give a fuck.
I just stated some facts, and then you're getting
you haven't stated one fact.
Can you show me one? Can you show me
Can you stop talking for a second, please?
Garcia,
can you stop talking for a second, please?
Where somebody like that deserves due process to the fullest extent, like a citizen?
Everybody deserves due process.
So
you don't understand the law.
So 100%, I do understand the law.
No, you don't.
If you're told that you're on a deportation list and you stay here, and guess what?
You understand?
Do you understand
what? So you don't care about the Constitution?
100%, I care about the Constitution.
No, you don't, because every person is entitled to due process.
Okay, do you care about the Constitution?
I do.
Okay, Second Amendment says shall not be infringed.
Yeah, what's the history of the Second Amendment?
The history of the Second Amendment is literally for the right of the people to keep and bear arms.
No,
shall not be infringed. It says it right there.
Why? But why though? But why? Why was it written?
Because every man has a right to protect himself, his property, his person against any enemy, foreign and domestic, but also
against what though? Against what?
Any enemy, foreign and domestic.
That's not why it was created though.
100%. If your own government was tyrannical, you could overthrow that government.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So why then? Let's think about this. Why is there language in the Constitution about tyranny being or treason rising against the government? Because if it's your argument that the Second Amendment was created to respond to a tyrannical government, then why is it against the law to commit insurrection and or treason against the government? That doesn't make sense. The history of the Second Amendment. Hold on, I'm not done. I'll let you talk. The history of the Second Amendment has got. You're about to get destroyed and bear 7,000 people.
I'm not. I doubt
you
know anything about the Second Amendment, but okay.
I guarantee I know more than you do.
Have we used the Second Amendment?
I'm not done talking. I'm not done talking. Shut up. I'm not done talking. Shut up. The history of the Second Amendment is rooted in slavery, my guy, because the militia was so scattered post-Revolutionary War that Virginia slave owners and in other southern states were so concerned about the slave rebellion, they petitioned the government to be considered part of the militia. So therefore, they would have the right to keep and bear arms. And he left. What a fucking coward. What a fucking coward. Unbelievable. Jesus. Learn something. Just learn. Just try to learn a little bit. It's not that hard. He did run. OF Taco, how are you? Are you there? Okay. Apparently not. Jesus, these people are so fucking brainwashed. Oh my God. It's crazy. Good morning, Shane. How are you?
Doing all right, Steve. How about you?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
This has been a wild ride this morning.
For sure.
Let me, I'm actually kind of walking out to a quieter place. I'm in a metal shop right now, so forgive me for 1 second. But there was a couple things I wanted to touch on.
Sure.
I mean, the theory that, the census. Did you hear about the census?
Yeah, that they want to introduce or do a new census now. Somebody just reported that to me. I haven't seen the story yet, but I'm sure we'll unpack it today and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Yeah, of course. Yep.
That's the only way they can move the goalpost.
Exactly. They can't win. They can't win fair and square. They have to cheat.
The other thing that I wanted to touch on and JP was a prime example. So for some reason, it has become commonplace in our culture to turn staunch opinions into blood sport. Literally,
Exactly.
like, you cannot move me from my opinion no matter what. This is my opinion. It is unfathomable. And it's like, guys, your opinion can always be changed. That is what being human is. And if you think that your opinion is the way that it should be and you are locked, dead set into this opinion, you are absolutely on the wrong side of history. Antiquated ideals locked into systemic belief of unchange is what will cause society to downfall.
Yeah, that's
And
tyranny.
I've been watching it literally for the last 3 days with the MBWs, how they literally are like having to tell people, be like, take the politics out of the subject and fucking stand up for the subject. And I've literally watched panels be like, oh, okay, and then just move on. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, you are not fucking doing the assignment. The assignment is, how do we deconstruct the toxicity of society? Not how do we win the fucking argument. And it's like, your live this morning has been example after example after example after fucking example of all of these toxic fucking traits in our culture. And I'm like, I'm beside myself.
You mean some of the people who stand in opposition for what we believe?
Yes.
I'm just trying to
Yes.
understand. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think our last conversation is a pinpoint example. Somebody, to me, it's not. I don't have a desire to be right to win an argument. That's not my intention. My intention is I want to have the information. And I want people to fact check me. And I want people to say, well, this is what I read. That's why I constantly ask for people to cite sources, because opinions are like elbows and assholes. Everybody's got one, right? So we cannot live and function in a society if people think that their opinion on something is a fact. You can clarify. It's not my fault that somebody doesn't know the history of the Second Amendment. Just the entire argument is just stupid when somebody says, oh yeah, it's to go against a tyrannical government. Then why the fuck would the Constitution include language about what happens if you rise up against the government? Makes no fucking sense. That's why that pissant coward ran, because he couldn't deal with it at that point. So
no, as soon as he went, I was like, you're done, dude. You're cooked.
Exactly.
You're cooked.
Exactly.
And forever, I mean, you know me. I've been on these panels for fucking years now. Yeah. The way that this has come about now is it's like, okay, great. Show me why your opinion matters, because that's what Donald Trump believes. That's what the government believes.
Exactly. I mean, and just think about the conversation we had around Abrigo Garcia, and see the right seems to think that we are defending Mr. Garcia. I'm not defending him. I'm defending people's rights to due process. That's what I'm defending. That includes everybody. That includes people who are connected to the Epstein files. They still deserve due process because that's the system that we live in. Sadly, rich entitled white people will get away with it, but that's the point. That's what we want. We're not defending anybody. We're defending due process.
Let's reiterate. Every fucking January 6er that was pardoned got fucking due process. Every J6er.
Exactly. Everyone that was behind bars, some even confessed to their crimes, every single one got due process. That's all we're asking for. It's not that hard.
I'm getting pets from a floofy dog.
I love that. Anything else, Shane?
No, Steve, I just want to say thank you. And, you know, like me, like you, remember, people out there, you people that don't have the ability to be as loud as me and Steve, and, you know, you don't necessarily have the ability to be on a platform like this. Even the littlest things that you can do to help a fight, whether it be feeding somebody, helping make signs, reposting content, staying informed, whatever it might be, those are the things that you can do to help creators like me and Steve keep being loud. So I want to say thank you to the chat, and especially thank you to you, Steve, but mainly
Thank you,
the
brother.
chat.
I appreciate you, buddy. Have a good day. Be safe out there, okay? Take care.
Always.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, again, I just want to be very, very clear here. I am not defending Abrego Garcia. We'll just use this for the purpose of this conversation. I'm defending his rights. That's what I'm defending. I'm not defending anybody. I'm not defending any individual. I'm defending people's rights to exist, and I'm defending a person's rights to due process. It's that simple. It's not that hard. That's what we're in here for. And I love the people on the right now. MAGA is so triggered because, again, they show us every single day how scared, soft, and weak they are, that they get so triggered that, well, you guys are defending Clinton. No, we're not. I don't give a fuck about Bill Clinton. Don't give a fuck. I think he's probably guilty as well. But he's entitled to due process. So when we go through the exercise and we use your own examples against you, when we form our own task force, although the task force from the left to go after violators will be much more colorfully dressed, and they won't have to hide their faces, although they can, because that's the model. Then we will use identifying characteristics. We will use affiliations. We will use associations. We will use language. We will use past experiences, and we will justify it because we don't have to. We won't justify it because we don't have to. If that's the game you want to play, then let's fucking play. I'm so fucking tired of it. Otherwise, if that's the game you want to play, then that's the game we'll play. By the way, I've received 7 $2 donations since the HJ comment went out there, and everybody has jumped on this train saying, here's $2 for some lotion, Steve. I appreciate you guys looking out for me. That's very, very kind. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you, though. You guys are so kind to be looking out for my chafing. Good morning. How are you, friend?
The HJ comment got you some grifting action. I love it.
Wow. Crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, Obi for the win today. And our wife and family.
And our daughter.
And our daughter. My stars. Yeah. I just came up to, take you through some box breathing after that wild ride.
You know what I mean, though? It's like if the argument is that they're justified in doing what they're doing, then why couldn't the same thing be true in reverse?
Yeah.
So if that is the argument, then the justification for us to use identifying characteristics. And I'm going to say, if you've got truck nuts, you're a threat to democracy. That's my justification.
I know, Steve. But now you're going into that pesky thing called logic, and that's just not what they can do. Here's the thing, and I loved hearing from a few guests ago. I think it was, what was his name? Triple OG, struggling with talking to his fam. And we hear about that all the time. How many times have we, even on fact, when we've done Are You Okay? That was a big one that always came up, even before the election and all that. This whole time is like, it's one thing when it's just somebody you don't care about and you can just be like, yeah, I'm done with you. But it's a whole nother thing when it's close friends or chosen family or actual family, and you've got to figure out a way to navigate some spaces where you really can't just walk away. And something that has come up, and even in my work, I see everybody. Not all my clients are necessarily critical thinkers. That's a lot of the reason that they've landed in therapy. And I help them kind of understand how their emotions are tied to all this too. Because, we talking about the world a lot in therapy world these days. And I always say, what you believe is truly the only truth that you have. Right. And so if your beliefs are causing you some issues, you really have to figure out how to examine those beliefs. And to do that, you got to get out of your fifis. Right. And I know we always talk about, you got to sense your emotions. You got to feel your emotions. Yes, you do. And then you have to think about things after that. Right. So I don't know. Logic is just not something that you can access when you're in your fees. And so I encourage everyone to just be like, if someone's coming up to you and they are not of the right side of history, and they start spewing the nonsense that the guest before the last guest did, who was clearly in his fight-flight mode, and he was in the arena needing to win something. That was very
Correct.
testosterone driven, and he
Correct.
probably needs to seek some therapy to unpack all that. The need to do that is just ask the question.
He might need to manually release.
He might need
to chill the fuck out.
He might need some reaching out. Yes,
I've got plenty of lotion apparently coming.
Yeah,
but I doubt he even uses any. Let's put it
I
that way.
kind of like coconut oil myself, but anyway.
Yes, agree.
Yeah, so. Oh my God, Facts After Dark on a Thursday. Hey now. But back to I don't even know what the fuck I was going to say. Oh yes, so for Triple OG and anyone else who might not know what to say in a situation where you're with someone that you care about, so it's not somebody you can just say, like Steve happens to do every day when he does his announcement of F you to anyone who might want to listen. If you do have to engage, if you find yourself in a position where you have to engage with people that seem to not have their executive function attached at the moment, you can say something like, why do you believe that? What is it about that makes you need to believe that, right? Like, what's the belief about for that for you that's tied to the thing that makes it so connected? And just put it right back at their doorstep, right? Like, resist the urge to invoke logic. Because as you all saw Steve try to do, like, hey, I'm just going to try and help you tell me what you're really asking. Dude wasn't asking shit. He was in here to spout his fifis about how he wanted to own everybody else that he's looking down on, right? Like, you can read through it. Like, he needs to believe that because he needs to other people, because he needs to feel superior, because he is so insecure. That was all that was.
Can I challenge something you said for a second?
Sure, yes, please.
We've spoken to enough people and we see it all the time. I don't think people who have those similar views have their own beliefs. I think they're told what to believe. Because if you had your own beliefs, then the conversations would be different from individual to individual. Because they're exactly the same, they follow the same script. I think they're told what to think.
Yes.
And that's the most dangerous part. From my perspective,
it's kind of both,
that's the most dangerous part. Right?
It's kind of both, because me, and of course I'm not going to get too nerdy, but like they're going to be attracted to a certain belief. This goes into the confirmation bias, right? Like they have a certain identity concept of who they think they are. And then the things and the rhetoric and whatever that is that aligns with, like, yes, that's right. It's that sense of, I'm going to double down on the stuff because it aligns with the thing I need to believe in to make me understand why I am better than, or why I'm a good person, or whatever. Oh, hey, love.
Hello.
I love it when we get to have a threesome.
With our conversation. Don't you dare
we
start.
get to have a threesome today, my friend.
But you know what I mean, though. I mean, I think I just speak like I always look up. Conversations and human interaction are things that I kind of study, right? So you would look for differences. You would look for nuance if somebody had their own individual beliefs. But when everybody goes by the same script, that's what indoctrination is. That's what propaganda and disinformation does. It puts people in this position where they're basically told, you do not have the ability, or I'm not going to let you think for yourself. I'm going to tell you what to believe.
When you bring
right, because they believe, let me just finish this one point, because they believe we believe that we support Abrego Garcia. That's not what we believe.
Right.
It's not what we support. We support a person's rights to due process. So when you challenge them with that, where are they going to go?
They can't, because it doesn't fit in the framework of what they believe. Exactly. Right. Because they've got a pretzel twist, because they have to believe the pejorative thing that they think about you in order for them to think that they're like really going to own you about the point that they're about to make. Right. And so it's so true, because you bring up the point too. I think that there's a certain group of characteristics that I've noticed too, that backgrounds that I would love for us to just do kind of like a come up and tell us certain things about you. Like, I have this characteristic checkbox in my clinical brain that the commonalities across the board of people who tend to have this need for the strong man, this need for authoritarianism because of like safety and background of not having safe environments, and their need to feel adjacency to whatever makes them safe, and their need for safety overrides their need to their ability to critically think. Like it's anyway, I'm not going to go off into the weeds, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I get your point. Like, hi, Victoria, you go.
Yeah,
I love
you're
your
right.
face.
Victoria's she's plotting to say something to attempt to embarrass me, so I'm just let her get out.
She's going to talk. Hey, Victoria, before you go, before you start, for you, coconut oil or olive oil? Which one?
Jesus.
I'm gonna say olive oil.
Victoria's mud, whatever I can find.
Mud.
Rude. Look, I told you I'll be gentle with you, Steve. You're okay.
Fine.
You're safe.
The velvet vice, right, Victoria?
You won't get raw.
Velvet vice.
Raw.
Yeah, you won't get raw. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute. How fast is? I want to see if the wind is blowing. Hang on a second. Yes, the wind is blowing today. I'm gonna head outside in a little while.
His cheeks are pink.
I got him real good one time, Amy. I got him real good. He kicked me from the panel. That's how good I got him.
Oh no!
Anyway,
yeah, but payback is a bitch, right? As you know.
Yes, it really is. It really is. I hate it so much. Anyway, back to this. One of the things that strikes me with these conversations is the need to win. We don't feel threatened by their beliefs. Like, one thing I find with Republicans and conservatives is they feel so threatened by our beliefs and our beliefs affecting them. And that fear really pushes them to feel like, I know when I leave my house that not everyone's going to think like me. Not everyone's going to speak like I do. And that's not a threat to my existence. It's not a threat to see the difference. The difference between myself and them is I'm not voting based on my fear to keep them from being able to do the things they want to. Do I disagree with them wholeheartedly on a lot of aspects? Absolutely. But I'm capable of walking past someone in a Trump shirt and being like, okay, whatever, fuck you. I'm capable of just walking past them and not letting it affect my day and not letting their beliefs affect my day. The problem with their beliefs is their beliefs actually affect the entire community that they're involving with, and they are forcing their beliefs on the entire community. Because if I was, for example, forcing my beliefs, I think church is a dangerous place to take your children. I think that it's not somewhere that you should take a child because they have no say on what they're going to experience at a church. However, my solution to that is I just don't take my children to church. I understand that other parents are taking a risk. That is their choice. It is their parental choice to do that. It's my cats, guys, my foster kittens. But I don't vote to take away their right to take their children to church, even though I know the statistics, I know the studies, I know that they are more likely to come in contact with. And that instead of that, I say, I support your decision. I support this, and I'm also going to put things in place so when something happens, because it's not an if situation, it's when something happens, you have the support system to help you with that situation. Period.
Right.
But they don't come from the same side of that. They are not capable of doing that. They're not capable of saying, okay, well, this kid's got fingernails painted blue, so I'm gonna comment on that. They just have to say, oh, you look a little gay to a little boy, or you're too masculine to a little girl, instead of just saying that's a kid. That's a whole kid just doing kid things.
And I think what you're saying sort of supports what I was just mentioning about how I don't think conservatives, by and large, I don't think they have their own unique individual beliefs. I think they're told what to think. And I think that's influence from the church. I think that's influence from the patriarchy. et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Think about it. I mean, again, it's about the talking points, right? We can see it. Like, we have diverse opinions on things. We have a variety of thoughts. Shit goes through my head every single day. I change my own mind on certain things. We don't see that enough, or we don't see that at all from the right. They follow a script. It's very, it's the microcosmic example of dialogue. I can't speak. I can't talk outside. So when we challenge them to say, listen, I'm only using your own argument against you, they don't have a response. They expect us to be triggered because Bill Clinton might be on the list. They expect us to be triggered when they say, you support Brigo Garcia. No, we don't. We support the law. They don't know. You could watch that conversation just escalate when I challenge their own thinking on it.
Well,
So
yeah,
the
because
question
they live in a fear-based world, though. That's why, right?
Correct.
Like
They're in their emotional brain. They're just they're in a constant
The
state
lizard
of fear
brain.
and emotion.
Yeah.
And when
Yep,
you're emotional, you can't think logically. You also seek to control everything. And I'm sure Amy's over here like, who's Victoria's therapist? She did so
I'm really
well.
thinking you should become one if you ever, you might have a
I
career in politics
legitimately
maybe one day, but if that doesn't work out, you should.
well, and it's the sense of control. Like, the healthier I've gotten, the less control I know. I don't have control in my life, so I seek to control the things I can't. I don't seek to control others. I don't seek to control like things that I cannot physically control. So like, if something bad happens, instead of it setting me off, now I'm like working my way back of like, okay, this is this life or death? No. Okay, cool. I'm going to take a breath and then I'm going to respond to it. Whereas when you see MAGA and when you see conservatives move through life, it's a sense of control. They want to control everything because if they can control everything, then they're less likely to be in fear. They're less
Right.
likely
That's
to
how
be
they
whatever.
resolve their fear. Yeah.
Yeah. And so consequently, it's like you have a toddler running around incapable of controlling their emotions and controlling that level of fear. And there's just a frantic parent running behind them like, oh my God, let me put the barriers up. Let me stop it from happening. And you can't do that. And that's why you see it like with progressives and liberals, they're more likely to parent their children with not looking for control, when not looking for those senses of things, because you can't control life. Like, I hate to break it to you guys. Life is just a box of chaos. You just got to figure out how to coordinate that shit.
That's a huge
Right.
piece of it too, because what you're describing is such an important thing that I tell everybody. The more comfortable you can be with discomfort, the better off you're going to be, because life is going to be life, and you're going to have a lot of discomfort that you're going to have to tolerate. The clinical term we call it is distress tolerance, right? The more distress tolerance you have, the more ability you have to do exactly what you just described, Victoria. What do you do in those moments? You just described how you regulate your emotional state so you can get back to another fancy term, vagal state, and think about stuff and think about things with factual information and logic and those pesky little things that we need to really break down stuff that's going on these days.
And think about when the conversations kind of go off the rails, and think about what from my perspective, what I just noticed and kind of reflecting on now is the conversation we had with two people in particular who got really, really angry. They got angry because their belief set was being challenged. We get angry because they want to come after individual rights or individuals. They want to diminish people. They want to talk down to people. They want to other people. So our anger is rooted in defending human rights. Their anger is when their beliefs, their hatred is challenged. That's a really interesting dynamic, right? You're talking about people are angry because their hatred is being called out. We get angry because they're being hateful.
Yeah, our anger is based in our anger for us and the people that we love. Their anger is based in fear and protection of themselves. And that's a stark difference. Either way, though, when your sympathetic nervous system is activated, your brain's offline. The rest of your brain's offline. So that's what you saw. And it's sad. Yeah. It's just really sad.
And they want us to react. They want us to react because they're trying to get us to the same level of dysregulation.
Oh, yeah.
So that they can have the argument they want to have. The argument they want to have is for us to go off and go nuclear against them. and push back, because if we respond that way, then they get the upper hand. They win. And like that guy, what struck me with the last guest is how he was I win. The object of a debate
noticed
is
that
not
too.
to win.
too.
It's not
like,
to
okay,
win.
whatever.
We're not in a sports match, buddy boy. Like, we're legitimately having a conversation. He is literally
by himself.
He is fighting for that the little P energy, just fighting hard.
He was one person. He was a one-person tug of war, and he was just tugging on himself. Hey, now,
right? He's racing against himself, and he finished third. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, right.
Guess who's eating the cookie?
Totally. I do need to wrap. So, final thoughts. Victoria, last word for you, friend.
Guys, today's a great day to get involved. Also, yours truly is still running for Congress, and the way I do that is with small dollar donations from you all. So if you have it in your capacity, I know we support this lovely person here who has a little bit of a vice, but if you're feeling
the face, the face.
You're welcome. I'll be here all day. Anyway, if you're feeling froggy, go to that link in my bio and donate today $8.07 to show me that you came from TikTok. You get a handwritten thank you note. If you have the capacity, please do that. If not, like, share, and save my stuff. I have a lovely interview with Resistor Vic that is out on all your podcast things, as well as I believe it's on YouTube. So yeah, get involved today. Do the thing.
And if y'all are not following Miss Victoria, hit that button.
So what you're saying, to show your kindness to your followers, Victoria, you use your hand as well. Just saying.
I'm good with my hands.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Don't overestimate my skill, though. Don't overestimate my skill. I want you to underestimate.
I'll talk to Nick. I'll go to the source. Thank you for being here. Now get the hell out of here. Have a good day. I love you too.
Love
See you
you,
later.
honey.
AD, final thoughts?
Oh my goodness. I guess my best thought for everyone out there, that's really, really what I want to help people do, is navigate this crazy, wild, heavy, emotionally triggering world. Is the best thing you can do for yourself is figure out how to be the calmest one in the room and ask the right questions, and everything else will take care of itself. And Victoria didn't say it, so I'll say it for drink your water and vote blue.
I appreciate you.
I love you beyond measure, my friend. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
All right, too. Bye. Interesting show today, right? I think a lot of things that we talk about here kind of show up, right? And I never really kind of looked at it the way I was sort of just describing it, about just stylistically the things that we get angry about is when people on the right come after people that we care about. People we don't even know. You know, we get mad and upset and angry, and I'm guilty of that as well. I try to stay as calm, cool, and collected as possible. But when they're going after marginalized communities, when they're attacking the rights, when they're diminishing women, when they're justifying their hatred, that's what makes us angry. What makes them angry is when we challenge their beliefs, right? When you're constantly acting like a bigot and a racist and a transphobe and a homophobe, and we call you out for it, you get angry. That says a lot. Who are we going to raid today, guys? First of all, everybody, thank you for being here today. Really, really appreciate you. Thank you for your support of the channel. Don't forget, we do stream on YouTube. You can watch the show over there. The replays are also broadcast. And thank you very much again for everybody for your contributions, your donations. Last little check here. I think I got everybody. Cool. We're gonna, let's see. I don't know who's live, but Danny's usually live this time. Monica's usually live. Head on over there. Tell them we said hello. Thank you, guys.